Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm just gonna get right into the stream today. No intro music, no intro or anything like that. Starting a little bit later than usual. But I needed to prepare for the stream, right? This was a pretty crazy day today, as events unfolded. So I'm pretty sure you've heard because it's been everywhere. But Charlie Kirk, the political commentator, the founder, and the guy who runs Turning Point USA, that huge conservative organization that was basically on what half the college campuses in the country that do these sort of campus events, and this huge, like, political conservative talk show host was killed in a shooting at one of the schools he was at. It was one of his new tours. What was it, the Comeback America tour or something like that? Turning Point USA Comeback America tour, and it was at the Utah Valley University. And when I got the notification that Charlie Kirk was shot on my phone from, I think the first notification I got was from Truth Social, because I have Truth Social on my phone because I need to follow Donald Trump's posts for my work. And Truth Social also sends you, even though Donald Trump's like the only account I follow on there, Truth Social also sends you like news notifications. That maybe you can unsign up for them. I have no idea, but that's how I first found out. So I went online. I was wondering, what is this going to be? He got shot. Well, how? What was going on? And then I saw the video. And the first video I saw was, I'm not going to show them on the stream because I don't think that's going to fly anywhere but on Twitter. Um, so the first video I saw was this far away one, right? And looks pretty bad, right? But couldn't really get the full understanding of what just happened, right? I think that's the one most people saw at first, and they were like, "Ooh, that's bad," or even like, "Oh," and then you see the reports that he's like in the hospital and stuff, and you're thinking, "Oh, maybe." But then there's that close-up video, and if you saw the one I'm talking about, I'm talking about that video because there's no way you can confuse it for anything else. I think it's the one that Hassan Piker saw on stream, and his reaction's been going around where he just cannot believe his eyes of what he saw. And I gotta say, it is, don't search it out if you don't want to see a gory fucking video. It's basically like a snuff film. It's really fucking bad in terms of how gory it is. It is. I mean, compared to all the other horrible videos I've seen online over the past couple of years, especially with the videos from Gaza of the Palestinians being brutally slaughtered over there by the IDF. Um, it's up there with that in terms of goriness. It's insanely bloody. Um, when I saw that video, I said to myself, "There is no way he's surviving this." I mean, obviously, I didn't report that. I didn't say that out loud because that's not something you speculate about with a certain profile where a lot of people will see what you say and think you're reporting news on it. You could speculate about some things online to, like, have start a conversation, but that's not something you should speculate about to start a conversation. Um, but I knew when I saw it, I was like, it would be insane if he survived that. It would be absolutely insane if he survived that, because the video shows his body go limp and lifeless within seconds, and there is blood not even pouring out of his body, literally squirting out of his neck. It looked, it looked like it was from a movie. That's how I'm not saying these things don't happen. Obviously, these things happen. We live in a horrible world, but you usually don't see it captured like that on camera, as close and as detailed as that video was. Um, it was a bad video. It was crazy. Um, so I saw that and I was like, I this is, ugh. And so oh, I'm not gonna show it. I'm not gonna show it. Someone said, "Don't show it, Matt." I'm not gonna show it. That's why I'm explaining it to you guys so you understand. I'm not gonna show it though. And it's so weird to see. I mean, no, that's not right to say either. It's not weird to see these things happen in the United States. And I was gonna say something else, but I was gonna say it's so weird to see the conversation already surrounding it, but that's not weird to say either. But I pivoted mid sentence, so let me address both things I was gonna bring up. It's not weird to see these things happen in the United States of America. I know people don't want to talk about this, and when I say people, it's usually conservatives and right wingers who'd like to make these sorts of things everything but. They'll say it's about ideology. They're making their before Charlie Kirk was killed, their whole current thing was the killing of that poor woman, that Ukrainian refugee on that bus. I think it was a bus or train, but on public transportation. She sat somewhere, going somewhere, and someone behind her just takes out a knife and slits her throat and kills her. Completely random attack. And they made it about race because he's black. But there's a through line through all of this, and it's two things. In about 99% of these things, and in Charlie Kirk's case, this is accurate, it's a gun. A gun is involved. That's one major through line. It comes up more than politics, political beliefs, political ideology, in terms of all attacks. Political assassinations tend to skew, and this is just the data, skew right wing. But I'm talking about mass killings or public executions, killings, assassinations in general. Guns. And this is for sure what happened with that killing of that young woman. And I think it's for sure, obviously, you can say here too, is that mental health, the lack of mental health care. Because, and I strongly believe this, mental health is involved in every one of these killings, no matter what it is. Whether the person is your cliche, like, what people believe, just like think of what they see when they hear the term mental illness, someone who's delusional, seeing things, talking to themselves, saying insane things. But also, you do need to be mentally unwell in some shape or form to be able to do this. No normal a person wakes up and can just take a life. No matter how much I dislike someone, no matter how much I disagree with someone, no matter how much I might hate somebody, there is no way I ever will have it in me to take someone's life. I could never do that. It's a horrible thing. I wouldn't do that to my worst enemy. For me to take another life, it would have to be in self-defense and up to the point where me or somebody else is going to die if I don't do something. Otherwise, I could never do that. And honestly, I think most I don't even think, I'm not going to say most people, most well adjusted people, even people who have who live with various forms of mental illness, but have health care, are able to take care of themselves and treat whatever they're going through, could never do that. But no one wants to address these two issues: guns and mental health care. No one wants to talk about this. And in some cases, when people do talk about it, like there's that clip of Charlie Kirk going around of him saying something to the effect of, you know, I'm fine with, let me play this clip so I'm not taking him out of context. Um Give me a second to find it because I don't want to take him out of context here. I don't want to say it wrong because it's his words and I don't want to put words in his mouth. And I want to be clear. This video in no way makes what happened to him right. I'm just saying nobody wants to deal with these issues. And that include and these issues include the one that just took Charlie Kirk's life. Uh, All right, I found it. Here it is. Come on.
Now, we must also be real. We must be honest with the population. Having an armed citizenry comes with a price. And that is part of liberty. Driving comes with a price. 50,000 people die on the road every year. That's a price. You get rid of driving, you'd have 50,000 less auto fatalities.
Yeah, but I'm going to address this one, even though it's not the broader point, because I'm not going to let him say that. But we have addressed that. You know how many cars are on the road? It would be a lot more if we didn't address it. How many gun deaths are per year in the U.S.? 46 in 2023. There were 46,728 gun deaths. That includes suicides, homicides, unintentional gun deaths. Imagine how many less there would be if we addressed it.
But we have decided that the benefit of driving, speed, accessibility, mobility, having products, services, is worth the cost of 50,000 people dying on the road. Wow. So we need to be very clear that you're not going to get gun deaths to zero. It will not happen.
No one thinks that. I've never met one gun control advocate, gun reform advocate who thinks that's going to happen. We just want to reduce the number of deaths.
You can significantly reduce them.
Thank you. Yes.
Fathers in the home. By having more armed guards in front of schools.
Oh, like that. Oh, right. Okay.
Having more fathers in the home.
Oh,
by having more
Jesus
armed guards in front of schools.
I should have known this is where he was going, but okay.
We should have an honest and clear reductionist view of gun violence, but we should not have a utopian one. You will never live in a society when you have an armed citizenry and you won't have a single gun death. That is nonsense. It's drivel. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational.
I mean, What do you say to that? What do you say to that? And then obviously with what just happened today. The guy who killed Charlie Kirk today should not have had a weapon that allowed him to take a kill shot without a doubt with a scope from what I heard hundreds of yards away. Obviously, we're still learning the details. They haven't even caught the guy yet, which we'll get to in a minute. I don't like listen, I'm not a fan of guns, but I get it. People should be allowed to have a handgun, a pistol, you know, things that you would use in game and sport. I'm not a fan of hunting, but in hunting, you know, I'm being reasonable. I don't think people should have guns, period. I think we'd be in a much safer place without guns. I don't think guns do anything for anybody. I think it's so incredibly weak for people to walk around with guns. I think if you have a disagreement with somebody and it comes to it, I think you should always use your words. But if it gets physical, you guys are supposed to be alpha males. Use your fists. Don't need to take a life with a gun. But I understand we live in this society, this American society, and I live in reality, and we will have guns here. And so I think it's okay that people who want a handgun or a pistol or guns like that, guns that can be used for sport or hunting or things like that, fine. Um, I don't think there should be guns that allow mass casualties of children in schools. I don't think there should be guns that allow someone to kill a political commentator by taking a kill shot at his head or neck. I would have traded off not having those type of guns and or more stringent gun license laws who can get guns in general in exchange for Charlie Kirk to still be alive. That's what my trade-off would have been. Because I want people to live, no matter who they are, no matter how much I dislike them, or disagree with them, whatever. I don't want anyone to die or be killed. People die. What you can't do anything about that. So let me rephrase that. I don't want anyone to be killed. I think it's fucked up. I think it's fucked up. This is just who I am. I don't want to see anybody get killed, no matter who they are. And to get really like niche here, this is something Hassan brought this up. He apparently was supposed to debate Charlie Kirk in 2 weeks. And he was voiced on his stream how he was concerned about his own safety and everything. Listen, I'm not anywhere near the level of Hassan or Charlie Kirk or anything like that. I don't pretend I am either. But listen, I remember playing music back in the mid 2000s. I was in a punk band. We were playing all sorts of venues. I played Irving Plaza, CBGB's, Knitting Factory, venues big and small. And that was around the same time that Dimebag Darrell of Pantera was playing guitar on stage at a small show for his side project band. And the guy got up on stage and shot and killed him. And that's been a killing that's resonated in me for a long time. Because just how vulnerable you are as someone who's a performer, an entertainer, a speaker, when you're up there The last thing you could even defend yourself from is something like that. And it concerned me big time, even in my late teens, early 20s when I was playing music. That shit, what could happen? I couldn't be prepared for that. That'd just be it. And in that same way, this one, hits home in terms of like, I don't need someone not liking me and doing this. It's not worth it, honestly. At least Charlie Kirk is making tons of money. I'm not going to die for nothing. I mean, there's nothing you could do to prepare yourself for something like this. This is beyond the pale, honestly, in terms of like. So I don't want to see anyone die. You don't have to personally feel for the individual involved on a on a personal level, like the guy. Even have sympathy or empathy, which Charlie Kirk apparently in this clip is also going around mocked the idea of empathy. You don't got to have that for the individual. I think just the outright scenario you could sort of find deplorable. And I think that's completely, you know, what everyone should feel here. I mean, I see a lot of people saying he has kids, and I empathize with that. Listen, without a doubt, I feel bad for his kids for sure, 100%. But I mean, the media is making him out to be a martyr. And I just don't see the same for when kids are being killed in schools from the same people who are already blaming the left for this when we don't even know what's going on here. I think the speculation around this, and like I said, listen, I think it's fine on social media to, you know, start a debate for certain things. Just posing a question here. Some of these are some of these things are like low profile. Not as, you know, critical in terms of like, let's talk about this through. What do you think of this? I think this. But to speculate about and just throw rumors and innuendo out there about a political uh commentator being assassinated, that is so horribly, horribly, horribly inappropriate and irresponsible. We don't know anything about this. All we know is that someone was killed, which is horrific. I mean, you have Elon Musk out there saying, what did he say? I mean, the fact that anyone does business with this guy, how the shit he's saying is not code to everyone in corporate America to say, fucking, let's not fucking go there. Let's not fucking work with this guy. Elon Musk says the left is the party of murder in relation to this. We know nothing about what happened here. Nothing. I mean, what do you say to these people? They want to use this. They're talking about revenge and violence. What is there's that video of where is it? It's let me pull this video. This is Jesse Waters on Fox News after Charlie Kirk's death.
Trump gets hit in the ear. Charlie gets shot dead. They came after Kavanaugh with a rifle.
All right. First of all, the guy who shot at Trump and hit him in the ear, every report that I've seen, every piece of information, everything out there about him, interviews the people who knew him, said that this guy was a conservative. This guy was a right winger. And they just continue to pretend that wasn't the case. Well, let's continue.
To his neighborhood. They went after Musk's cars. They just shot 2 Jews outside the embassy.
Hold on. First of all, going after Musk's cars, please. Please. Stop equating property damage with life. The right does this all the time. And to do it when one of the people that you look up to and respect was killed is ludicrous. Property damage, you could deplore it and speak against it. But to equate it in any way with the loss of a life is just fucking absurd. And it shows how little you actually care for human life.
Think about it. Scalise got shot, barely survived. It's happening. We've got trans shooters. You got riots in LA.
You got trans shooters. What is it? In all of modern U.S. history, there's been, what, 4 trans shooters?
They are at war with us.
Who is they? Who is they? We know who they. He's talking about the left or liberals or Democrats or whatever. They. You don't even know what happened here yet. And again, I'll get to that in a minute.
We want to accept it or not. They are at war with us. What are we going to do about it? How much political violence are we going to tolerate? And that's the question we're just going to have to.
Just a few months ago, a Democratic state lawmaker in Minnesota and her husband were murdered in their home. A lot of you guys, a lot of right-wingers, I don't know if Jesse Waters was included in this, but people like Elon Musk were for sure, mocked Nancy Pelosi's husband when a right-wing conspiracy theorist broke into their home and tried to murder him and attacked him with a hammer.
Ask ourselves. Now, Charlie would want us to put as much pressure on these people as possible. Dana nailed it. This is unacceptable and has to stop. And it has to stop now. And everybody's accountable. And we're watching what they're saying on television and who's saying what. The politicians, the media, and all these rats out there. This can never happen again. It ends now. Greg's right again. This is a turning point, and we know which direction we're going.
I don't even know what that last thing means. And then you got Donald Trump over here putting out a statement in this weird video.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger.
This is I posted about this video on social media, and I was just trying to get an idea from people who might know more about this than me, but I think I have a pretty good tell on these things. This is a very weird video visually. His body doesn't move. His hands barely move. There's this weird jump cut in the video that doesn't look like your usual, just like straight up cut. It looks like it was morphed. Perhaps some AI generated or AI enhanced aspects here. I mean, I do think Trump filmed something here, but it does look like a weird AI enhanced video in some way. Don't know why they would do that. Was he just not fully available? Did he shoot this video somewhere else and they put him in this setting? I have no idea. Just it looks weird. That's all I'm saying. Not getting anything more into it other than it's weird to see this video the way it is. But anyway, I'm playing this video because Trump says some things in here that's pretty concerning.
At the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired.
How is his body so still? That's what's so weird to me about this video. I can't. Listen. Someone said it's because he's older. Maybe that's why. I don't know. I've seen videos of Trump before, and I don't think anybody could sit this still while talking like this for 4 straight minutes. It's insane. I think it's really weird.
Millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot.
Right there is that weird
who
cut.
Devoted his life.
The very weird cut right there.
Charlie was a patriot.
You see that? That's very weird, but who knows?
Who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, And there's never been anyone who was so
Also, I don't think it's AI generated in the sense that like AI created the entire of Trump. I don't think anything. I don't know. But it looks like an AI avatar. Now that's when you provide the AI. I mean, there's also completely AI generated avatars, but there's also the ones where you provide the AI the base model to work off of. In this case, you would film yourself talking and speaking, you film your body, and then you would give it to the AI, and that way the AI could use your image, which would be a much more accurate depiction of yourself than if AI had to generate it from scratch. But it uses your image to then create whatever you want without having to refilm every single time. So, I could film myself right now. Who knows? Maybe I'm doing this right now. Maybe it's already been done. I could have filmed. So, what you do is I would film myself. Like, I could just take this right here, this whole video of me talking to you guys, feed it to one of these platforms that creates these AI avatars, and then I would be able to type out a script, and it would take that video I fed it to and use that video as like the base for generating hundreds of more videos in the future without me having to refilm myself. It would, mimic my movements or just reuse my movements, but it would just, fix my mouth, make it look like I'm saying what the AI clone voice of me would then generate using the new script. Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there is technology to do something like that. Ralph Macho said they didn't use AI, Matt. I'm not saying they did. I just said it looks like it. It's just a very bizarrely overprocessed video. They definitely use some sort of AI upscaling or color enhancement because that's why it looks so. Look at those colors. Those colors are a very bizarre color profile to use.
respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared.
Again, we have no idea what's going on here. We have the FBI. I'm going to get to this. I know I've been pushing this off. The FBI has dropped the ball. The local law enforcement has dropped the ball. They've numerous times said something that was counter to the other. They've had two suspects or subjects, they said, in custody. They've let both go, even though they, shouted from the rooftop that they got these guys. They do not have a suspect in custody. Can you believe that? I mean, we'll talk about that more in a second. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others, radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech.
That's the part that's amazing. We're going to honor the values that Charlie Kirk espoused on free speech by going after anyone who calls us Nazis and says things about us we don't like. Just the what do you even say to that? I mean, this maybe I'll get picked up for this. You know, maybe you'll see on the news that they got to knock at my door. But this is Nazi shit. Going after people for speech like that. It's not violent rhetoric to say, yeah, that's what the Nazis believe. That person's sounding like a Nazi, probably a fascist. If you believe those things, if you do those things, if you espouse those things, that's not something you can, in the United States of America with the First Amendment, that's not something you can get arrested for or should be prosecutable, or, you know, I guess you can get arrested for it technically if Donald Trump sends the FBI or the police after you or whatever. But in a court of law, that would be thrown out because it's opinion. It's not an incitement of violence. It's not requesting someone do something. If you're saying Nazi shit, if you're doing Nazi shit, then describing that as Nazi shit is protected under the First Amendment.
Citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and
I
love
mean,
of God.
I gotta even correct myself there. I mean, you don't even have to be doing Nazi shit for you calling someone a Nazi being protected by the First Amendment.
Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come.
I mean, I know that's what people usually say when these things happen. And, you know, for some figures throughout history, it's been true. They're what was done to shut them down, turn them into a martyr or, you know, an icon, and, you know, they became more powerful in terms of, you know, the context of historical nature. But the truth is, and even for people that we like to, you know, other, you know, political ideologies, mine included, like to say this about, it's not always true. It's very often not the case, honestly. Um, Oftentimes, especially in modern day where the news cycle moves fast and we value life so little, um, we say that to make ourselves feel better, but it's just not true. Uh, Someone's killed, and there's simply for the broad, how do what do I say here? Broader society just moves on and forgets about them. And it's just the truth.
Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close. May God bless his memory. May God watch over his family.
I just don't understand how still he's sitting. Listen, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. You guys know me. But you got to call out weird shit for being weird shit. I mean, I'm sure there's a good explanation here. I've just never seen someone talk like this with their neck and head moving and the rest of their body, arms, hands, torso, just unmoved, completely solid as a stone. It's so bizarre to me. I'm sorry. It's just weird shit. I don't know what they did here. I fully believe they shot something with him. They filmed something with him. And there's footage of him saying this, but they did something really weird with the video that makes it look bizarre. It is super weird. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say about it. It looks uncanny valley to me.
And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Yeah. Wait, someone's in the chat says, why do we care? Why wouldn't we care? I think it'd be a fucking really, I think it's a big deal how the president of the United States and our highest level of government communicates. If it was Joe Biden with a weird, bizarre video like that, knowing what we now know about Joe Biden's health status, we would all have all been like, what the fuck's going on here? What are they trying to hide? Is Biden unable to perform his duties if he can't even film a 4-minute video without them needing to do something weird with it? That an AI avatar, weird editing, whatever it is that makes that video look weird. I think we should know what they did. And if the explanation is just a bad edit, then great. We should know that's what it is, though. It's a weird video. He's moving unnaturally. Maybe Trump's just moving unnaturally in that video. I just want an explanation. Maybe they could just say, he was extra still for 4 minutes. He said, watch, I'm going to sit as still as possible for 4 minutes. Okay, I'll believe it. Just, I need to hear the explanation. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm laying out that video looks weird, and I just want a statement or an answer. Someone who knows more than I do about the production of that video. You guys are watching me right now. I can't stand still like that, body unmoved, talking to you guys for 4 minutes. Look, I just moved my body. Accidentally, I didn't even mean to. Oh, my hands are moving now. I mean, like someone said in the chat, Trump is known for jerking his body around when he speaks. I mean, he talked about how he was almost, there was an assassination attempt on his life. All of his followers and himself, I believe he himself has said this, but I know his supporters have, how Trump's jerking motions saved his life because he did one of his famous Trump moves while speaking. And that moved him out of position for where the shooter lined him up. And that's why it only grazed his ear. It's a weird looking video. I don't know what to say. I'm not speculating. I'm not crazy. I don't think Trump is dead. Like I see some people saying. Trump is obviously alive. I mean, that'd be very bad. if something happened to the president of the United States, regardless of what I think about him. I don't need any of that shit happening in this. Everything's fucked up enough as it is. I don't need uh, half of the country that supports him, the people who support him, to go absolutely bonkers because they think something happened to him. He better be fucking fine. Christ Almighty. I think shit would be really. I think we just need, whatever you think, even if you're talking about naturally. I do not want. Trump needs to finish out the term, whether we like it or not. He's got to finish the term. It would be very bad, I think, if he didn't. It's very bad now. I think it'd be even worse if he didn't, quite honestly. Um, I don't like what happened today. We don't need this shit. I think it's bad. I think it's not good. I think things are already very, very unhealthy in this country. You guys have I've covered politics for a very long time. I professionally, I started out of college. I'm much older than I look, even though I think I might be catching up to how old I am. I've been doing this now for professionally, like as a job, for 15 years. And up until the past year, and this is before, no, it's 2025 now. So up until, I would say, summer of 2024, I for the first time I got burnt out. And I've told you guys this story if you're a regular listener of the show. And that doesn't happen to me. If you're familiar with what I've done, I have been in the weeds for a long time. I've had all sorts of things happen. I've had debates with conservatives that went viral, men's rights activists that got attention. I've been, people have said some crazy shit to me, nasty shit to me. I've been doxxed, all this sorts of stuff. And none of that shit really bothers me. I don't have a thin skin. I'm pretty good at just brushing things off and not paying attention to them and just moving on. But I would say, like, a year after seeing the destruction in Gaza and all the videos fill online, and then just and not just that, like the denial that it's happening, the Hollywood shit, the people pretending like this is normal, that it's okay for the US to fund our allies who are supposed to be a democracy as they absolutely annihilate an entire people. It's just supposed to be normal and okay. And the fact that almost all of our politicians, are lockstep with it. And that there's laws in this country where you can say whatever you want about this country, but you can't say certain things about Israel. And the denials from broader mainstream society that this isn't weird. That shit, and then there's all this other stuff. It just compounded on top of it. And then I was like, you know what? What's the fucking point of doing this shit? If everyone's just gonna fucking act like inhuman and act like we shouldn't be bothered by this and how we should just ignore it or not talk about it or just move on or not let it bother us. And how people just talk about each other. I mentioned earlier about how the news cycle moves fast and we just move on from things. I think it's really bizarre that at least when I was younger, I remember when someone died of some sort of notoriety, it was like a big deal for a while. And now it's just and when I say notoriety, I don't mean just famous people. I mean people who, are, you know, school shootings. That would be a major thing. Columbine was huge. It really mattered. Those poor kids, people remembered them. Those kids that got killed. And now it's just these things happen all the time. And who cares? I mean, I care. And that's why I don't want to fucking do this anymore, honestly. Because I'm tired of fucking caring when it seems like nobody else does. It's fucking annoying. Um, it really weighs on you, and I'm sure a lot of you feel like that. When I say nobody, I mean the broader population. Obviously, there are some people who care. Drew says kids are starving in Gaza. We have it good, but I mean, what I'm talking about, we do have it good. But what I'm talking about is here. There's too many people who don't care that kids are starving in Gaza, and that's what kills me. It's fucking it just eats away at me. And it's not just people don't care. It's that people deny it. It's what's the point of I used to feel just even a few years ago, lies spread. My job, along with countless other people who do news and reporting and stuff, debunk it. And while there were still conspiracy theorists that believed the lies, people wanted to know the truth, regardless of whether it fit into their perfect little storyline in their head. And they would learn the truth and believe it and revise what they previously thought and said. But something fucking happened in the past few years where none of that truth doesn't fucking matter. Whatever comes out about the shooter here who killed Charlie Kirk, at this point, in terms of the narrative that people already believe, that won't even matter. Florida Dawn on Twitch says, "Oh, W normalized lying, Binder." But here's the thing: mainstream media was completely complicit, as they often are, with pushing George W. Bush's lies about Iraq and weapons of mass destruction and all of that. And this country was living under that delusion for years. But then there was a turning point, right? And there's nobody who believes there was weapons of mass destruction in Iraq anymore. Everyone knows. And this, I would say, happened around what? 2006, 2007? Definitely by 2008. Everyone knows since then that George Bush and his administration fucking lied to us. I don't feel like we're going to that. There is no point of that here. there's still people, a lot of people spreading COVID conspiracy theories. We're removing vaccine requirements. Florida is doing away with vaccine mandates entirely. Not just COVID vaccine mandates, period. Did I say turning point? I mean, yeah. I think we're in a bad place. Here, I'm opening up the phone lines. I'll take some calls. Be smart about your call. Listen, I don't care if you disagree with me. You want to call me whatever you want to call me. I don't care. That doesn't matter. I'm saying be smart in terms of don't say any, even if you're calling in to curse me out because you don't agree with me on it, whatever. Even if you're the world's biggest right wing or whatever, let's be smart because even I don't want to see you fucking get a visit from the FBI tomorrow. Don't say anything fucking stupid about this topic. That's gonna get you in trouble. All right? The phone lines are open. 646-303-7337. 646-303-7337. I'll take the calls as they come in. I do not screen calls. I pick them up as they come in. You could Baba Booey me if you want. Doesn't matter. I don't give a shit. All right. First calls are coming in. Let me pick up the phone. Hey, 706. What's your name and where are you calling from? Area code 706.
Matt, hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Is this me? All right, just kidding. It's Jared from Georgia.
Okay, you should have said Jared from Subway. No, I'm joking. Go ahead. Hey, Jared, how you doing?
Please never, ever do that again. But I'm okay. Crazy day, huh?
Yeah, it's listen, listen, I know people don't like him. I get it. But this shit's never good. It's never good.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I'm totally with you. Don't worry, I'm not going to be insane. I mean, I am going to put the tinfoil hat on a little bit. We don't know anything about the shooter, right?
We don't. It could be anybody. Anybody.
Correct, yeah.
And we've seen how oftentimes these shooters are not who people think they are.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, to take a shot like that, with whatever weapon this guy had, do you really believe it's some fucking I mean, it could be, but
yes, some liberal, et cetera, et cetera.
How conservatives describe liberals? Oh, beta males, soy drinking cucks.
Yeah,
they're also the scariest people alive, apparently, who have perfect sniper kill shots and stuff like that. I mean, listen, it could be, it very well could be, but completely runs counter to what conservatives want you to believe.
Yeah. My thought process is, I mean, it could be someone in again, this is speculation, but I mean, you think about it, the Groypers have fucking hated Charlie Kirk, right? They've drummed up the war drums for however long, gone to his events, harassed him.
Could be. It could be. And I mean, honestly, the safest bet is this person is not well. There's something wrong with this person. No matter what they believe, could even potentially, and I don't know, but the idea that this person could have no concernable or a completely weird, inconcernable political ideology is more likely than someone who has very strong political beliefs about something, quite frankly.
That's very possible as well, 100%. I was just thinking, the mentality it would take to do something like this. I mean, obviously all it takes is one insane person with, I'm just going to fucking do this, or obviously, maybe, planning went into it clearly. I mean, you can't just
this person has to know
with all these cameras around. This person get away. What's it been 10 hours-ish? No idea.
This person has to know the camp. This person has to know the campus. I'm not saying they're a teacher or a student or a worker or faculty or a contractor or someone. They could have zero ties to the campus, but they have to, at the very least, have gone there prior to doing this to scope out a place where they knew Charlie Kirk would be, and they scoped out a place where they would be able to carry this out with and bring the proper gear to do so, and also know that they would be able to escape in some way because they still don't have the guy. Like, this wasn't a last minute decision.
Like
this wasn't someone who just showed up and pulled a weapon, obviously.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the fact that Kash Patel has a couple times been like, we got a suspect. Oh, I guess we didn't. We got a suspect. Oh, I guess we didn't. Well, what the fuck is going on there? I mean, clearly just incompetence.
So this is what I saw. There was this first video going around of police carrying someone out. He was like an older gentleman, maybe like 60s, 70s. People thought that was the killer at first. Turns out this is just like, you know how every city has like the weird guy who shows up at every political event and every protest and every community board event and just has nonsense beliefs that fit no coherent ideology, and they show up to protest liberals and this apparently was this guy. He just is some weird regular that shows up at events and apparently caused some sort of commotion, and they took him out, and that's where that video spread. And right away, I saw obviously they didn't spread because they didn't have a large profile, but right away I saw local Utah reporters saying like, oh no, that's just this guy. There's no way this guy carried it out. He's a regular at these things. We're very familiar with him. He doesn't have the capacity to do this. This is not relevant to this at all. And it turns out that was correct. That wasn't the guy. Then there was a video I saw where someone said they were, their mother or sister or someone they knew was walking around and caught video of police arresting some individual with some sort of rifle. And immediately I saw people who know about guns comment on that video saying, there's no way this is the guy. That rifle is like one of those airsoft pellet guns. It is not a lethal rifle. They saw this guy with this gun and they're arresting him for that to be safe. The police in the video, you could tell the police were not treating this like this was, they got the guy. They were taking this as a precaution because they didn't look like they were taking this at the utmost, level of, if they caught someone who just killed someone. And it looks like that was the case too. Now, I don't know if that pellet gun guy was the one Kash Patel was talking about, or there was a third individual that the FBI had that no one knows about. But Kash Patel comes out, and what was it he exactly said? Let me pull the exact. And this is what is insane to me, how irresponsible this is for the fucking FBI director to come out and say this. And it shows what a shit show these guys are running. How anyone can trust that we're in safe hands from the government in terms of like attacks and stuff with these guys running the show should be fucking scared as shit because these guys don't have a fucking clue with what they're doing. So Kash Patel tweets out at 6:20 p.m. The subject for the horrific shooting today that took the life of Charlie Kirk is now in custody. Thank you to the local and state authorities in Utah for your partnership with FBI. We will provide updates when able. Now, using the word subject looked weird to me because that's not the usual terminology for catching this individual. But then the rest of it looked like they were pretty sure they got the guy. When you're thanking the local and state authorities for partnering with the FBI and we got the guy in custody, it sounds like the threat is done with, right? That's what it sounds like to me. And then...
yeah, the manhunt is over.
Yeah. And then an hour and a half later, nearly 8 o'clock, he tweets out, the subject in custody has been released after an interrogation by law enforcement. Our investigation continues and will continue to release information in interest of transparency. And then an hour ago, the FBI tweeted out, the FBI is working alongside our local and state law enforcement partners in Utah to fully investigate and seek justice in the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk in Utah Valley University. Anyone with information, photos, and video from the incident can help the FBI identify More answers by sharing the files here. They misspelled identify. That's not good that this guy got away with everything that I don't see how. He was on a fucking rooftop. It happened immediately. The school immediately locked down. What the fuck happened here? Like, what the hell happened here? Listen.
Yeah, and
I know,
we see.
I know it's not the same thing as like Secret Service being there for when Trump got shot. And obviously they had snipers all over the place who just happened to miss this guy on a roof, but they got him after the fact. I'm not expecting that level. But what the fuck did this guy completely... I could even see him escaping temporarily. But it appears to me that they got no fucking clue at all who they're even going at. What they're even looking for.
Yeah. It's fucking insane, and it's like, you know, I've been, I don't know, just trying to like not find clues so much, because obviously that's not possible, but see what the narrative or the grift on the right's going to be, like the ultra far right. So like Laura Loomer is saying shit like, looks professional. Okay, yes.
What is that? What does that mean? Look professional. Because to me,
that means next line is like she's not ruling out foreign governments. So now she's like, oh.
To me, professional means that the person is hired, right? I mean, even the most trained individual, you would call them experienced. You wouldn't call them professional, though, if you thought they just did this for their own personal reasons. Professional implies they accepted payment to carry out this deed. Like, if it turns out that some fucking military vet did this because they had some fucking personal vendetta against him, you would say, oh, that's why he was an experienced shot. But you wouldn't call him professional if he did it for personal reasons. Someone would have to be paid to be professional. I mean, that's just my understanding of that terminology. Would you agree with that?
I would. I guess another sense would be professional, as in, they know exactly how to cover their tracks, that, they can do a job like this, completely not be found by whatever this man knows. So there's two different interpretations. They can both obviously overlap too. Could be either or, could be both. But right. Just the fact that they're like they're alluding to, people like that are alluding to, Kirk tweeted a couple of days ago about, I don't know if you saw the Islam tweet about being the sword, just pressed against the neck of America, ready to slit its throat, essentially. That's what he said. So I'm not sure if, she's trying to build off of that and say, those fucking Muslim countries who know it could be, or I don't know. But also, the other far sect of the right, the Nick Fuentes and people, they think he started to show signs of like becoming anti-Israel, maybe. So now they think Israel is involved or some bullshit. It's fucking insane. He's like one of the loudest mouthpieces for Israel and Netanyahu and all that shit. So but that's just where their minds go. It seems like I don't know. But that was just my thought on it. We're obviously going to find out. We're obviously going to know. Just thinking about who could go through with this. Who would be devoted to such a cause? But it could just be, again, completely.
Also, listen, Charlie Kirk, he's obviously a very influential figure in terms of like political commentators on the right. But like, in my opinion, like someone who has who's carrying out something like this based on political ideology, he's not someone who you'd consider like what is what does his death do for whatever movement you believe in or whatever? He's not a person.
Oh, yeah.
He's not a person in power. He's not like a politician. Like, he's not like like if you were to come at it with that sort of, I need to take someone out. If you had that mindset, he's just not someone that would do anything to change whatever you're looking to change. He doesn't have.
I agree with that.
It's so like, why would you do that to him? It's unless you were someone who wasn't looking at this from an ideological point of view.
That's the thing.
You know?
Yeah, ideological, in the sense that, I don't know, more like logical, as in like, I agree with everything you just said. The people listening to this probably agree with everything you just said. Just to put your mind in the headspace for somebody who believes and buys into that Nicholas Fuentes spouting bullshit about how Charlie Kirk is a sellout to white people, how he has betrayed this country, he's not actually true MAGA or whatever. This is stuff they say, how they've accumulated, all this whatever. So that's you and me. Obviously, we can see that, but I hate to break it to you, Bender, but some of those people on the other side are fucking insane, and they just get, their minds warped up in this kind of thinking. Maybe they thought this was just an opportunity, to rid, to help white people. I don't know. This is, again, I know you're doing a stream. I'm not trying to sound crazy, but I'm just trying to think. I could see this based on what they're fed, what they're spoon-fed by these lunatics,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's no...
We'll know.
Right. I mean, we don't know nothing. We just don't know anything. We just don't know anything.
Yeah.
I mean, we do know that it was a gun. And we do know that for someone to carry this out, you have to have some sort of issues that are unaddressed or unattended. And that's all I can really all I could really talk about in terms of what we know for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And like all day I've seen friends of mine, ex-coworkers, mostly female, honestly, post tributes to Charlie Kirk. I live in the South. I'm in Georgia, right? They're nice people, but he's Christian. Also, I don't know if you know this, he's also a white man, so a little bit of they just kind of just like, oh great, you look very nice. You're a lovely looking individual. You believe in my religion or whatever, and it's just like very pretty aesthetic, I guess. You share my values, and so, all of that vile shit he says, they've probably paid no mind to it. They just see, because the president went on live TV, even though he has no fucking clue who did this, and said the left is responsible, and now we're going to, completely obliterate any kind of movement they have in this country to, I don't know, topple their fucking free speech, I guess.
Right.
Any kind of organizer movement. What does that even mean, dude? We have no idea who it is.
I mean,
why would you say this?
Are they're going to arrest everyone who ever calls anyone a Nazi? I mean, I guess,
your ass is in trouble.
I'm
sorry.
Lock me up. Funny thing is, I don't even call, I do think that things they do are fascist and Nazi-esque for sure. But I don't even.
Oh,
I'm not someone
kidding,
who calls,
but just because you had said earlier, you were like, I have a hot take here. They might come for me. But
I'm actually even careful because I fully, I say what I say because it's factual. I believe there is analogous things they do that require them being called Nazis and fascists. I don't call Trump Hitler because I don't think that's analogous. Maybe one day it will be, based on how he's doing things, but I don't call him that because I don't think that's analogous. But
you just make comparisons. I mean, you because it's you have to be blind.
I mean, you could be
right to not see some of the shit. Like Mehdi Hassan makes that point. A lot of the time,
you could certainly do Nazi things without getting to Hitler status.
That's true. Yeah. 100%.
All right. This was a great call. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, sure, man. Yeah, I appreciate you taking my call. Have a good one. And what a fucking day.
Yeah.
I was like, today I'm not going to pay attention to politics. Like, actually, today I'm just going to chill out today. And holy fuck. Okay, I guess I got to take a look. What's going on?
Yeah, listen, I hate this shit, man. It really.
Oh, me too.
Because listen, there's some people who honestly, and a lot of people on the right, I'm not saying the Charlie Kirk one, but a lot of people on the right, and you saw it with this poor woman in that video, the Ukrainian refugee. What was her name? I want to make sure I pronounce it right. I don't.
I think it was RYNA.
RYNA. I want to make sure I pronounce it right. Irina Zarutska, it looks like. Irina. Okay. Irina Zarutska. That video is horrible. And they're trying to act like only the right wing thinks that's a horrible video. Listen.
Yeah.
That guy who did that to her, that's a failure of the system that he was out. 100%. A guy with the record he had, with the issues he had, he shouldn't have been out there on a bus or whatever they were riding on. It was a train, right?
Yeah.
He shouldn't have been out there like that. Period. With the history he had, without a doubt. No one on at least I don't think the system is perfect. We're the ones arguing that the system isn't perfect and that people need mental health care and there needs to be gun control and all these other things that the system fails people on. It's the right that doesn't care enough to do these things.
Yeah, they hijack a completely senseless fucking story like this, and they're like, "Okay, guys, time to promote it everywhere," and be like, "This is what the country
what I found
is headed towards."
What I found what I found truly horrific about their reaction to that video, is how they used it. This video, that video was horrific in the sense that like the poor girl didn't know what was coming. She looks shocked when it happens. I don't think she even realizes what's going on until she's seconds away from, not even seconds, milliseconds away from passing out. And she dies.
Yeah.
And they clipped stills of her face in shock, literally as she's dying. Like that's still the image they're showing of her looking mortified is literally an image of her dying. And
I've only seen images, and that's one of the ones I've seen, and I never like actively went to go look at the video. Like I saw a video where it cut off. I'm like, I don't want to see this. It's fucking miserable. And then I see that shot you're talking about
and they're using it. They're
like a paragraph of whatever the fuck they want to say about it.
They're using it as propaganda.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can you do? And I'm sure the same people are saying, don't share that video of Charlie Kirk. And you know what? I agree. I agree on both counts. I agree that those videos are newsworthy in terms of, unfortunately, when newsworthy things happen, I do believe that for newsworthiness purposes, things shouldn't be censored and those things should be available. But at the same time, viewing something for a newsworthy reason is not the same as using it for political propaganda or propaganda in any sense. And that's where they take it too far by sharing that shit. Like it's just fucking, like it's a fucking movie that they're sharing. Like it's a fucking meme they're sharing.
And that's her whole life. That's what she's known for now. It's that one moment.
Right.
That's what she's immortalized for these fucking people.
And then they lie about what happened too. They're using it to further a race war, saying how they're using to say how she was killed because he was black. A black guy killed her. It wasn't that he was mentally unwell and that he had a history, and the system failed in seeing that history, and how he called the police something like days or weeks before saying he was hearing voices or something like that and needed help, and no one took him seriously. And then look what happened. No one's talking about that. No, the reason he killed her is because he was a black guy looking to kill a white girl. That's what they're saying. That's their whole thing about this. That's what they want to spread. And then obviously that's not what happened. She's just bullshit, obviously. But then they go further even, and in like the 1 or 2 minute clip that goes around, he kills her, like he slashes her neck and walks away, and she's shocked and starting to pass out. And everyone around her, there's no one sitting next to her. He was sitting, the killer was sitting directly behind her. And then across from her was one person. Behind that person was one person. And then all the way in the back of the train were like 2 other people. Back of that section of the train, I should say, were 2 other people. And she doesn't even realize what's happening to her. And then they start spreading that, oh, look, none of the other passengers are doing anything. They're cowards, or they didn't care about her because they're also black and she's a white girl, or they're afraid that if they jump into action to save her, they'll be prosecuted or persecuted like Daniel Penny was. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Ludicrous. Because if you watch the full 12-minute or however long, the longer version of the video, which is much longer than that 2-minute clip, it's like 8 or 9 or even 12 minutes long, she doesn't even realize what happened to her. The people around her are either listening to their headphones or whatever, like you do on public transportation, minding your own business, not paying attention, looking down, looking out the window. There are a few people who do realize something's up, and they're confused too. She falls to the floor, and maybe about 30, 40 seconds later, people start to realize what's going on. And people immediately run over to her. And I should say the first guy who runs to her and immediately takes off his shirt, his own shirt, to use as some sort of like tourniquet or something, whatever he can to try to help her, is a black man. Not that it should matter, but if they're going to go about that, this is some racist killing and black people are all out to kill white people, give me a fucking break. Just watch the video. The same video you're using as your propaganda.
Yeah.
They were half a dozen people trying to help her. And the only reason there were more people trying to help her is because her body is literally slumped over between the wall that separates seats from the door. If you know like how a train is set up when you walk up, you know how you walk up those. This is usually like how you see on a bus, I guess, but I guess the trains are like that in North Carolina. You know, like if you're from New York City, you walk to the back of the bus and there's the back part of the bus. You have to climb up the steps. And that first seat is separated by like a little half wall where you could still see over the door, but there's a wall there, so you can't like just step down into the door area. That's how it looks like in that train. Her body's slumped and like stuck, propped up between her seat and that wall. There's no room for any more than like 2 or 3 people to even get in there to help her. You know, it's everything.
Yeah.
Everything's got to be an outrage to further their own agenda. Honestly, I don't even think it's their own agenda. Sometimes some of these people, the vast majority of these people, seem to be sharing things just to promote their own brand, promote themselves as influencers. That's all political influencer, at least on the right, is nowadays. It's fucking all about fucking getting shit out there as if you're just talking about, as if you're just like a fashion influencer or a music reviewer or a fucking film reviewer. It's all just fucking content for the fucking content machine. But you're doing news. This is real life. These are real people. And they just treat it like
you used the term you used the term race war, and like as soon as I heard that, just instinctively my mind went to fucking Tim Pool. Like, you know, I don't have to know. I don't know if he covered that story, but obviously, you know, I'm willing to bet a lot of stuff that I own that he did with that same narrative that you just spoke about. You know, the same purpose to be like, oh, how can I milk off this? oh, the great, this story happened. This is awesome. Can't wait to, feed this to the slop to the piggies or whatever. It's just insane.
Yeah. All right, I think other people wanted to call in. I held you on way longer. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
That was my fault.
Well,
You were
man,
great. You were
sorry.
great. That's why I guess I held you on. It was a great conversation. Have a great night. Really appreciate the call, Jared.
Hey, you too, man. Big fan.
Take care. Appreciate it. All right. 646-303-7337. I apologize. There were some people who were upset I was describing it. Listen, I'm not showing these videos, but for the newsworthiness of discussing them, I did have to explain so you understand how ludicrous what they're saying is. All right, let's go back to the phones. Hey, 705 area code. That's 705 area code. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Matt. This is Rob. I called last week as well from Ontario.
Hey, Rob from Ontario. What's up? What's it to talk about?
Well, I intended to talk about something else, but I just thought with the last conversation, it kind of ties in. There was kind of a similar incident to that train incident that took place on a Greyhound bus.
Well, you just cut out. Hello? I don't hear you anymore. I think something happened with your phone. All right, I'm going to go to the next call. Call back. I'll remember your area code. 515. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Are you serious? I'm on the line. Hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm in Des Moines. My name's Keenan. How you doing?
Hey, Keenan. What was it to talk about?
The crazy shit show of the day. I mean, kind of where we're at, right?
Right. Yeah, it's go ahead.
No, I mean, hey, am I really on?
You're on.
Right
You're
now?
on. You're on the air. You're on the. You're talking to
That's
me.
wild.
It's not. You're not listening to an AI voice clone of
all
me.
All right.
This is...
No, you sold me here. All right, cool. I just really didn't think I'd be talking to somebody. Okay, yeah. So shit show of the day. I can't. I'm sitting here and I'm looking over my friends. These people that I've known for decades. Their social media, their commentary of this is tragic. And we all know what happened. It was very brutal. It was gory. It was horrifying. Nobody wants to see that. It's just shocking to me that these people that I'm friends with are just besides themselves with the fact that people aren't shocked. They're not surprised that this man literally dug his own grave to be kind of morose about it, but he advocated his own ending in a sense, and my people.
No, it's not. No, I think
online and whatnot.
I think I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but I think the more accurate thing is like they're upset that people don't care. And listen, I'm not one of those people. I think this is horrific, but they're upset that people don't care when they have shown that same level of care when this same thing has happened to others.
Right, they say, I feel bad for him. I feel bad for his family.
Charlie Kirk said himself, this is just the requirement. These sorts of deaths are just what's required every year in order to make sure we have the Second Amendment. It's just they brushed it off.
What are we, the lottery as a society now? Is that what we're turning into?
Right. It doesn't have to be this way, though. Yeah.
Exactly, and it's surprising to me that people are shocked when things like this happen. It's shocking that this event took place. It's shocking that it took place in front of the entire world. Rapid fire. That video went across the internet to every man, woman, and child that had access to a phone. That is shocking. That is new. The event itself, that's just history repeating. But the social response is so unique. It's, let's pause for a moment and let's think about this one voice who essentially advocated for the silencing of hundreds of others throughout gun violence and so on, what have you. I'm not going to get into that, but to have that almost eclipsed with an active school shooting event that took place today at the same time, and yet that, and have that make no headlines, virtually none. It's sad.
Yeah. It's just, I feel like I've said what I said about this, but I agree with you. It's I don't think it's something where, like, I don't think he said like he was. I mean, he sort of did say he was fine with this. I mean, by saying, it's just a result of having a Second Amendment, and we have to deal with it. I mean, I don't want it to be that way. I don't want us to have to think about these things. I don't want these things to happen. I don't. This is not ideal to me. But they feel differently. They don't want to do anything about this sort of thing. I mean, they still, even after one of their own friends and figures was killed this way, they don't want to deal with it. They're talking about calling people Nazis, as if that's what that's what killed him. They want to talk about
revocation of freedom of speech. That's a perfect reaction.
It was so Trump to say that, but also so amazing to be like, we want to uphold Charlie Kirk's values of free speech, and we're going to do that by taking action against anyone who calls us Nazis. Or, I mean, give me a break. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. What is there any news about the killer out there? I mean, have we got any? How they really don't have anything? It's unbelievable.
It is surprising to me that there has not been more about that. More egg on the face, more eating of the crow, if you will, towards the immediate missteps of the Patel. Immediately claiming that we have the suspect, we're letting them go. It the back and forth. It stands, as the last caller said, it stands to mean essentially just incompetence wrapped up, and that's the best way I can put it. I really think that, other callers can probably add more to this. I am just amazed that I was able to actually make it in. Very, very happy to, actually speak with you. And yeah, that's it.
I appreciate the call. It was a great call. Feel free to call in anytime, and I will take your call. And you don't have to be shocked, because it'll become so normal that it won't be a big deal.
Hey, keep it on, brother. Yeah,
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Have a great night.
Bye.
304 area code. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Matt. How are you doing? Crazy day.
Yeah, it's a crazy day. How you doing? This is Ren, right?
Yeah, this is Ren. This is Ren calling from Oregon.
Yeah.
I saw that video, and I was fucking chilling on my back porch, lit up a cigar. I was like, well, things are about to get very not normal. Everybody on the MR Discord was like, yeah, light up, whatever. Like, shit's about to be probably not great. And to be honest, I still don't totally know what to make of it. The thing that really disturbed me most was that the last thing that Charlie Kirk ever said was spreading racial hatred about black people. And that was like a really disturbing thing to me, like as somebody that believes in like an afterlife and believes in God, like to see somebody just filled with absolute venom right until their last second on earth. Like it disturbs you. I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, he was talking about gun violence as he was shot. I mean, and you could, I don't think it's a surprise to anyone, but he wasn't talking about how he wasn't taking it very seriously. Let's put it that way. Someone asked him about how many trans shooters have there been, and he said too many. He said,
sorry, go ahead.
He said too many, and the person corrected him and said it's been 4. And then he said, "Do you know how many mass shootings there have been overall this year, or something like that?" And Charlie Kirk, snidely quipped something like, "Are you talking about like
how many of those were related to gang violence?"
Gang violence, yes. And then he was shot. I mean,
and then he died. He's gone.
I want people to take this stuff seriously so this shit doesn't happen again. I don't want this to happen.
I gotta say, Matt, I totally, I could not disagree with you more in terms of stuff with gun control. Like, there's certain things that I agree with. Like, I think that everybody who's buying a gun for the first time, they should have to do, 24 hours of mandatory range time in front of a trusted member of the community. And, there should be, social barriers in place to where someone can pick up on somebody who's a lunatic that's going to hurt a bunch of people. But as somebody who is, an LGBT person living in a Trump plus 40 county, the idea that I wouldn't be able to defend myself is effing insane.
You wouldn't need those guns though if they didn't have access to those guns either.
Dude, so if the federal Congress passed a bill right now to restrict firearms, you think that would be a good thing?
I don't think. I mean, I don't trust Congress to do it correctly. So
but
no,
if they did,
I don't.
But if they did, it would be a good thing.
I do think that. I think less guns is better.
I just the thing to me about it is that all of these people that want to carry out acts of violence against minorities, they are already armed, and they're pretty much always going to be armed. And I think that any gun control at this point would literally just prevent liberals and further left people and minorities and vulnerable people from being able to defend themselves. I know that you have kids. I know that it's different when you have kids in terms of what your outlook on society is. And I totally think that there's, too much gun violence in America.
I mean, I'm not saying guns, people shouldn't have guns, period. I'm just saying there should be more regulation on them. There should be certain guns that people should not be able to have, and that there should be higher barriers of entry for owning a gun.
As long as it's not a cost barrier, then I can understand that. The idea that I have, this is, whatever, I'm talking about this out loud on the back porch, but when you look at democratic socialist principles or just general labor principles, if you're going to have a program that requires someone to put in 24 hours range time or get a psychological evaluation before they were to buy a gun, that shouldn't be something that the person has to pay for out of pocket. They shouldn't have to pay for that ammo. They shouldn't have to pay for that trip to the doctor, to the psychiatrist, to answer a handful of questions to see if they're unstable or not. You know, I see a lot of the stuff that goes on in California of them being like, well, what if we just slapped a $10,000 tax on a firearm? And that, to me, just kind of reveals the seething hatred that the California legislature has for, like, poor black people in Los Angeles. I don't want a financial barrier to owning a gun.
Yeah, I mean, I understand.
There's a lot of people
I mean, it's also a function, obviously, that I live in New York City. And it always baffles me that they talk about New York City if it's the most dangerous place on earth. I feel obviously something could happen to me. Something could happen to anyone anywhere. But I really do feel like I live in the safest place on the planet, honestly. People don't just walk around with guns here. They just don't. And I know people are going to bring up the situations where there were shootings and gun violence in New York City. I didn't say it was perfect.
It's such a rare, sporadic thing. There's 8 million people in the city.
It's such a rare, sporadic thing. And in so many of those cases, the person with the gun is someone who just entered the city from outside of the city. From somewhere else.
I was going to say they got it from somewhere else.
From somewhere else. And I know the right is going to say something like, "Oh, what about gun violence within, like, with gangs and stuff?" You know
what about black on black crime?
But you know what though? That shit is not the shit the conservatives have to worry about, because those aren't random killings. Someone who has a gun for that reason isn't going after you. That's some sort of personal violent event. 99% of you don't have to. Those actually are the ones that are most prevalent. Violent crimes are usually against people who know the perpetrator, the person who did it to them. Random acts of violence are fairly rare. And then second of all, what I just said about how safe it is when you live in New York City because the guns are so hard to acquire here.
Something I was going to say, like, I remember when I saw it, and, like, I'm not sure how much you know about my background, but I'm from West Virginia, and I started shooting guns when I was 4, and so I know a lot about terminal ballistics. I know a lot about, like, what a bullet does in a target, and, like, so I kind of understood that shooting. Like as soon as I saw the clip, I understood what it was. And somebody was like, "Oh, do you think he's going to live?" And I was just like, "No, he's gone. He's gone. He's dead." And people were like, "Oh, but we don't have proof yet." And I'm like, "Nope, it's severed his carotid. He's gone. He's dead."
Oh, I saw the idea that anyone thought he was gonna. I saw. There was some rumor that he was.
No.
I was like, it would be a miracle. It would be an absolute. And even if he did,
it would be the hand of God.
And even if he did somehow, the idea that he would have been like just back to normal, that would have been something where he would have never, if he did manage to survive something like that, he would have never been the same again. He wouldn't be able to probably talk or function or walk or something like that.
They would have rolled him out. They would have rolled him out on a wheelchair with a massive scar across his neck with him going, "The attempt on my life has left me scarred and deformed." Like, that would have been the best case scenario for Charlie. It was actually, no, the best case scenario was what happened, which was that he was on this earth 1 second and then the next he was just gone. That was the best outcome that possibly could have happened with this for Charlie Kirk. Honestly, it was the best outcome that could have happened for the audience as well, because like, that shot was from about 200 yards away. There was an amount of, like, muzzle drop and, like, bullet drop off that occurred with that shot. That shooter was aiming for, like, just in between his nose and his cheek. And I'm really sorry, like, to, like, get upset about this or whatever, but, like, as somebody that understands guns, the idea that somebody would have had to seen what that would have looked like is horrifying to me. I can't, I'm so glad that the shooter didn't compensate for bullet drop, because that would have been, a lot of people would have gotten PTSD today that didn't. It would have been really bad. It still was really bad.
Yeah. All right. Let's
talk about anything good.
I don't know about anything good, but let's move on, I guess, from this kind of people in the chat are saying we're kind of getting a little bit too specific and gruesome. I mean, it's one of those shows. What could I say? I mean, we're talking about something that was dark and gruesome. I don't know what to say. It's just not good that we're here. Not good that we're here. What do people talk? Why is Dean Withers trending with Charlie Kirk? Isn't that isn't that TikTok liberal guy who does debates with conservatives?
I'm not on TikTok at all.
Did he say something? Did he say something stupid or something? Let me see.
I thought Dean Withers was a musician. Sounded like somebody with a raspy voice that would play flat wound guitar like it was a bass or something.
Oh, apparently people are mocking him because he was crying over it on air or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Listen.
You don't have to shed tears to say that this was not something you want to say. I mean, maybe he knew him personally. I don't know. I don't. It's an unfortunate event for sure. It shouldn't have happened.
I just the thing that messed me up. I mean, it wasn't seeing him die. It was that he wasted his life. He used his life poorly, doing horrible things. And after it was over, I felt a relief that there wasn't somebody running around on the earth anymore trying to hurt as many people as possible. I wasn't happy about it. It was I don't know, I can't comprehend of somebody being filled with that much hatred towards the world around them and towards other people in it. The dude literally said, empathy is a made up word.
I mean,
that,
he said
they came up with
he said a lot of truly horrendous things for sure. I mean, wasn't he one of the guys saying he wouldn't trust a black pilot? He was you'd probably find a number of. I mean, he was one of the people using Irina Zarutska, her image, to share horrific race war theories. I mean, this was not a good guy. And to see
two of the last videos that were ever uploaded to his YouTube channel was why do Democratic women want to die alone?
Right.
And then the other one was I think it was triggering. It was I triggered a CNN anchor, and it's juxtaposed a picture of him, a picture of the black CNN anchor, and then behind the black CNN anchor is "I can't breathe," which was the last words of George Floyd as he was being choked out by the police officer.
I mean, you're allowed to say these things apparently, but it's okay. I mean, listen, I get his people.
You can't call that guy a Nazi.
I get conservatives mourning him. Not a surprise, obviously, of course, no big deal. But then you got shit like this. Why the fuck are the New York Yankees fucking having a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk before their fucking game today? And tweeting,
are you kidding me?
And tweeting about
what the fuck is that?
Charlie Kirk was not a sports figure. Charlie Kirk, as far as I know, has no ties to the New York Yankees.
Are we just going to pretend that he didn't spend his entire adult life and career doing the worst shit imaginable? Are we just going to act like this was a good guy?
Like, I'm not surprised that the right and conservative media are gonna like have obituaries and memorials for this guy. That's their world. But what the fuck is this shit? I wouldn't expect them to do this for a liberal streamer or commentator or anything. This guy was not a politician. He wasn't a political figure. What is this shit?
It's everybody else having to be dragged along for the sake of respectability politics because liberals are scared, and they're going to lay out the red carpet for the right to do whatever they feel they have to do, or whatever they really always wanted to do in the wake of this. It's just useless.
It's just like totally performative. It's totally, I mean, hope the Mets don't fucking do anything, because then that would kill me. I mean, the Mets are already doing so fucking bad. They're about to lose their playoff wild card spot. But I would cry if the Mets put something out like this. God, I hope they don't. With Francisco Lindor running basically the team, I have a strong belief they wouldn't do such a thing, because Francisco Lindor seems to be one of the few baseball players who actually has good politics and cares. But oh my God, I could not. I'm not a Yankees fan, but I saw that shit and I was like, why? Why? They wouldn't do this for anybody else. Do they do this for the students of school shootings? Do they who killed? Do they do this for
no?
No. What the fuck is this shit? And this is
no,
nothing,
you don't you don't
honestly,
fucking understand that. Charlie Kirk's life mattered more than all of the people who died as a direct result of the shit that he put out into the world. The 5 people that died in Colorado Springs, Colorado, their lives didn't fucking matter. The lives of everybody at every fucking like book club and coffee shop and fucking like nightclub that gets shot because of these fucking right wingers. All the fucking kids happen to get evacuated from that fucking children's hospital. No, none of that fucking matters. His life mattered more, apparently.
This has nothing, like, it doesn't make any sense. It's just bizarre.
It
doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I mean, really, all we got left to wait and see though, is it's someone was pointed out it's already Thursday, which means it's today's September 11th.
Happy 9/11.
Yeah, we're gonna have a great discourse today with all the. I hate today. I hate September 11th. It gets me so depressed because I hate how people treat it. It's not. I think what happened should come with like. No one wants to fucking treat it how it deserves to be treated. Like the people who lost their lives are not treated with dignity and respect. It's a fucking, they're treated like as propaganda, and it's horrific. And today depresses me so much, and I try to avoid talking about it because it's depressing. But I'm sure it'll be worse than ever with what has transpired the day before. All right, Ren, I'll talk to you later. Thanks for the call.
One thing. Can I get 30 seconds?
Really quick. Yep.
Okay. So little conspiracy thing. YouTube's been like smacking down the hammer with flagging videos and taking down videos from leftist creators. I just got my Deny, Defend, Depose, my like Luigi Mangione song, taken down because they said that I was promoting criminal and terrorist organizations. I've seen this happen to like other music creators in the past, but it's fucking nuts. And I really wonder if there is some pressure being put on YouTube and Google by the White House to be like, hey, you've got to tamp back on leftist speech and videos.
Who said that?
That's pretty much it. I said that. I said that because one of my videos got taken down for, promoting criminal or terrorist organizations, and it was literally just a folk punk song about Brian Thompson getting shot. And I think that the White House or some national security people in the wake of today might be putting some pressure on Google or YouTube to try and get them to take down leftist content and videos. Because there's kind of a sense, is my gathering, there's kind of a sense of, oh shit, now we've got to put the hammer down, and now we have to cut back on this shit. We can't let people share these ideas or talk about these things.
Yeah. Mm. I mean, it is what it is.
Sorry.
You gotta. I mean, it sucks, but it's All right.
Be well.
Take care. 231 area code. Oh, they just. I said it before they actually got on the line. 231 area code. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Seren. I'm from Michigan.
So, I'm sorry. Say your name again.
Seren.
Seren.
Like Serenity.
Oh, okay. I had to double check because the caller that I just spoke with, their name is Ren. So you caught me off guard by going.
Nice.
You caught me off guard by going Seren. I was like, wait a minute. Am I hearing the name correctly, or am I just experiencing deja vu? No, go ahead, Seren. Thanks for calling in. What was it to talk about?
So, been watching a lot of congressional hearings and such, and this morning's I was watching with a group. We were watching like some of the Epstein stuff and some of the also references to some ICE funding. But what I mainly wanted to talk about was that this afternoon the House was debating some amendments about the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act. And specifically, there were several anti-trans amendments that were proposed by Nancy Mace.
Oh, and Nancy Mace has a crazy video today of her screaming because she says how the left is responsible for Charlie Kirk's death. And then when a reporter asks, well, by that logic, is the right responsible for the deaths, the killing of the Minnesota state senator and her husband, and she went insane denying it while still saying the responsibility lies on the left for Charlie Kirk. It is she is the Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert can move over. They are no longer the craziest person in Congress.
There was. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Nancy Mace is beyond the pale. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Oh, there was screaming on the House floor today between the Democrats and her.
What was she screaming about?
She was yelling. She was yelling slur. She was saying slurs and dehumanizing language about trans people that I myself am trans, so it's a little hard to talk about.
Right.
It was really bad. The stuff she was saying, she was calling us mentally ill, deranged, dangerous. You know the gamut of the kind of transphobic rhetoric that she's used in the past and such. And unfortunately, those amendments did pass. So there's going to be restrictions as far as these amendments were specifically about military and military family members. And then, so after that though, I took a nap because it was a lot to deal with. And I woke up to the Charlie Kirk stuff.
Oh, wow.
So it's been
good morning. Yeah.
And it's I am the violence itself is horrible. I don't agree with violence. Last night watched a documentary about Gene Sharp and his work on nonviolence resistance to dictators. And so seeing the violence even against Charlie Kirk, I would rather harmful individuals be held to account in courts of law and that kind of avenue,
right?
Rather than
also this idea that if you don't mourn and rewrite the person's life so that they're just all of a sudden everything they ever did, they're a saint, then apparently you rubber stamp what happened to them. I say this all the time for anything. I don't wish or want anything bad to happen to anybody. But bad stuff happens.
Yeah.
And I can't mourn all of it. And there's certain things I won't mourn because I just don't have that feeling for it. I can't lie about how I feel. I don't want bad things to happen. But when they do happen, all I can do is react to how I feel. And I don't want anything bad to happen, but something did. And I'm not going to rewrite history and pretend this guy was a great person. What happened to him shouldn't have happened.
No.
What happened to him shouldn't have happened, period. But it doesn't mean that everything he ever did goes away and he's only someone to treat like a saint. I'm sorry, this is not how it works.
No, I agree with you on that fully. I'm more horrified at.
I'm not gonna cry for Charlie Kirk. I'm upset that it happened because I don't want it to happen because I don't want things like that to happen. But I'm sorry, like there ain't tears.
No, I'm more shocked and maybe horrified at the kind of response that the right's been having with it. This lionization of him is just unreal. Like what you're showing with the New York Yankees there. So,
I don't think the Yankees or anyone should be posting shit like that unless it's a sports figure, someone directly connected to the organization, or a political figure who should transcend. I wouldn't be surprised or shocked, or it would just be obvious if something happened to Trump, they would put something up for that. I mean, obviously, the president. I mean, but for a political commentator, and then
it's ridiculous.
And then the way they describe him too, Kirk founded the youth activist group Turning Point USA and had become a fixture on college campuses. Yeah, the fucking crazy people with a bullhorn fucking yelling out God hates F words. They also are fucking a fixture on campuses. Give me a break. That's not a reason to memorialize someone.
Mm-mm. Oh, he was. His rhetoric has been just detestable for decades now. So I do not mourn the passing of Kirk. I mourn the breakdown of society that this kind of violence and the school violence and because there was a school shooting today as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and all we can do is do what we're doing right now, talk. And because we are nobodies, I mean, without any sort of influence, no power, all we can do is talk. And talk about the people who have influence and power not wanting to do anything about it. Because what we want would have prevented something like this from happening, or made something like this more likely at the very less likely at the very least. But yeah, I mean, what do you say to that? Thanks for the call, Soren. I really appreciate it. Have a great night.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good night, Matt.
$435. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, it looks like their call dropped. 763. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, hello?
Hey, you're on the air. 763. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Soren. I'm calling from Minnesota.
What's your name?
Soren. That's crazy. This is the first time I've gotten through, and there was a Ren and then a Seren.
Wait,
wasn't
the person right before me Soren too? Or I'm very confused right now.
I think they said their name was Seren, like Serenity, or maybe I'm saying
all right,
that
maybe
wrong.
So I was saying it wrong. Okay, I thought you were trying to fuck with me at first. I was like,
No,
minute,
I'm so Ren in chat. My real name is Soren.
Okay, I am. I don't know if I believe this. This is the weirdest thing I've seen. It's not like, oh, I just spoke with 3 Johns in a row or something. That would make sense. That's a common name. But Ren, Soren, and Soren. All right, let's roll with it. How you doing, Soren?
I mean, I'm as all right as you can be in the political environment
Right.
these days, I guess.
Right. What would you like to talk about?
I mean, I think we kind of, or for your show, and for my day, the Charlie Kirk stuff. I'm just kind of sick of hearing it. So, I think I missed one of your calls. You might have talked about it, but I kind of wanted to talk about the Epstein files.
Oh, I mean, this is
voting not.
This was the big
they voted
story
to
up
not
until
release
today.
them.
This was the big story up until today. I mean, that latest drop, the images, in there, the drawings in there. Holy shit! Like, I mean, if there's any doubt now about what the fuck was going on there, you got to be fucking closing your eyes willingly to not see what the fuck was going on. That clip of Ezra Klein saying something like, well, what's obvious is that Epstein obviously had 2 lives. One where he was a horrible abuser and pedophile, and then another one where he was a rich financier and had rich friends. And both things were true, but obviously those lives were separate. You got to be fucking lying to yourself, willingly lying to yourself, purposefully obtuse to believe that shit to begin with. But especially now that we have drawings from his rich friends, literally, the drawings literally say are literally visually saying, oh, Epstein, happy birthday, my pedophile friend. Here are some pictures of some young children with you doing weird things. You sly devil, you and your love for kids. I mean, you got to be out of your mind.
Well, yeah, or just like the little weird birthday card Trump did with the, implication of pubic hair being his signature. And then I hadn't seen the image until yesterday, but there was the image of Epstein, and I don't think Trump was in the photo, but it was like a gigantic, like cartoonish check that Trump had signed for like $20K or something to buy a expired, I don't remember the word they used, but like damaged goods woman, like really fucking on the nose for what he's accused of, right?
Yeah, I mean, what is? I want to make sure I have it correctly because I was reading something. I'm sorry. What exactly did you ask me again?
Well, just there was an image that I hadn't seen until yesterday of like Epstein with some other guys, and then a woman with her face blacked out. And it was a giant check with Trump's signature,
right? And it
matched the signature of the birthday card.
But it wasn't just a giant check; it was a giant check for something like a depreciated woman or something like that.
Yeah. Depreciated. Yeah, I couldn't come up with the word. That was it. Right.
Unbelievable. I mean, they're fucking joking about the shit that they know he's doing.
I mean, that kind of leads into, and I mean, this isn't news to most of your chat, I imagine, or, I mean, perhaps you'd consider it a little like a bit of a conspiracy theory, but the idea that Trump himself was like implicated in a lot of the trafficking, to me, seems like really obvious with his like relationship with that Brunel guy, Jean-Luc Brunel, and I forget the Victoria's Secret guy. But like they had their little weird club with Jeffrey Epstein, and like, I mean, maybe some people would consider it like conspiratorial to think that Trump himself had done human trafficking, but I think all the evidence points in that direction, personally.
Yeah. I mean, something was going on there between them for sure. I mean, we know that for sure. What exactly, we don't know. But But the idea that you would say those lives were separate and that Jeffrey Epstein was like doing this on the side and his rich, like the people involved with his, like, his other, business life or whatever had no idea. No, absolutely not. I mean, this was his business, it seems. Like, this was what he was doing. This is what put him in the upper echelons. This is what made him the figure that he is. I mean, I know there's also the speculation that he was involved with the Mossad or something, and he was working for Israel or something. But that aside, I think it seems pretty confirmed, at the very least, that we can confirm that him providing young women to rich people was at least one of his businesses, one of his ways of staying either moneyed or close to people with money.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they're kind of one and the same, right? Like, I kind of struggle to think of like a public figure, like especially like a, like I'd say like evil or nefarious public figure that was so one-dimensional. Like, I can't name much else about Epstein other than him being a pedophile and trafficking, underage women. Like, I don't know anything else about the guy, other than like some of the people he hobnobbed with, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think this is going away, but for the time being, I don't think anyone's going to talk about it while we're dealing with this shit. Yeah.
I mean, the one thing I had said a little bit, I don't know if you heard, and maybe I'm like late on this, but I thought that Congress, or maybe it was the Senate, like voted to not release the Epstein files.
I think they're trying, like I don't recall what were the last acts of everything going on, but from what I saw, they're waiting on Democrats are waiting on a few of those empty seats to be filled by special elections, and then they'll have enough.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, another good reason why we shouldn't have unwell elderly people in politics, in our political positions. I mean, it's insanity. We're in just bad times all around. I don't know how else to say it. It's just.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I had a few other things I wanted to talk about, but they're all really bad and depressing too.
No, well, so, why don't we talk about one or two of them? Go ahead.
Oh, I mean, just kind of tying into the recent mass shootings. One of them was somewhat local for me in Minnesota here.
Oh yeah, there was that school.
The idea that
there was that school shooting, right? I remember. I mean, geez, it was only what, like a week or two ago, and it's already like.
Right. It was. I used to live in a very close neighborhood to where that happened. But just the concept that RFK Jr. wants to like do away with SSRIs and like antipsychotic medications and Lord knows what else with the state of mental health in this country, really kind of hits home to me because I've struggled with depression since I was a little kid, and I've been in and out of treatment since I was a kid too. Lord knows what fucking other horrible ideas they have, him and the HHS for, in and outpatient for people with mental illness.
Yeah. Yeah, it's we're in hell right now. I mean, the sad thing is there are answers.
Oh man, I wanted to make an insensitive joke there. I probably shouldn't.
There are answers to these things.
don't think about it.
Yeah, no, I think I knew what you were gonna say. There are answers to these things. It won't solve them 100%, but it will greatly address them. and we just don't want to do them. I don't know what this. They're just, yeah. I don't know what to say. I got into this shit because politics interested me. And then all of politics now, though, none of it's policy. None of it's even like electoral politics. It's all just fucking culture war garbage. Even things that should be policy discussions are turned into culture war garbage. Politics is entertainment. And this is not what I signed up for. This is not what I want to do. I don't view politics. Politics can be entertaining, and you can cover politics in an entertaining way. But politics is not entertainment. But that's all it is now online. Politics is content. Politics is a show. And this is what fucking turns me off of this shit. It makes me not want to fucking do this shit anymore,
Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean. I have a really hard time kind of looking away from it at sometimes. I don't really like the analogy of like a car wreck or something like that because it's not really the same thing. I want to know what's happening in the world I'm living in, and I don't know, like, what level of preparedness I should kind of be living with, for how fascist of a state we're living in, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah.
If China or Russia decides they want to, go to war with our country, or, I mean, I suppose if there were another superpower that would be as devastating.
Yeah. I mean, I listen.
What would I do about that? But, I live in this country, like, I feel like from inside, I should at least have some sense of agency, even if it's, a fraction of a percent.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I can say is that I got really into sports this year.
Sure.
And I get it now. I was one of those, I still am, but like back when I was a silly kid in junior high and in high school, I was just like all Mr. like anti-jocks, I'm still anti-jocks, but anti-sports as a result of that because I'm a punk rocker. But I get it now why people just fucking go headfirst into sports. It's a great way to just fucking shut out the horribleness in the world for 2-3 hours, however long the game is. And I get it. I get it now. It sucks the Mets are so bad now because it's not fun to watch the Mets right now, but it's a hell of a lot more fun to watch the Mets suck even than pay attention to all this shit.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've been a Vikings fan for most of my life, and I don't know, it's been mostly pain. We had the Minneapolis Miracle, and that was, I mean, I've told people it was like maybe one of the top 5 days of my life, as pathetic as it is, but
hold on,
it's been mostly rough.
People are saying in the chat that Emma got me into sports, and that couldn't be more wrong. My son actually got me back into soccer because he became a soccer fan, but he also is just a big sports fan in general because he's one of those kids who loves competitions, like in general. So he got into sports. So he got interested in like just general sports, and then I started just like paying more attention to general sports. And I've always been a Mets fan because they're the most local team there is for me personally. And but I got really into the Mets, especially after that wonderful season last year. And so we're fully into baseball with him being a Yankees fan just because I think he wants to piss me off. But Emma did not get me into sports because Emma's a huge football fan. And that's still like the main, like the sport I just can't get into. If it's a good game, I get it. Like I'll watch a good football play or whatever. But I'm not a it's not for me. It's not my thing. I used to be really into hockey, especially in '94 with the Rangers winning the Stanley Cup. I knew I knew the '94 Rangers team like the back of my hand. Like I knew every single. I was a huge hockey fan that year. But then hockey is not my thing so much anymore. It's still okay. It's still probably third place for me after soccer and baseball. But Emma definitely did not get me into it because Emma is a huge football fan, and that's the one sport I have no interest in. So you're wrong. NBA is okay. NBA could be exciting. I also think basketball is kind of pointless until you get to those last couple of minutes in the fourth quarter, honestly.
I enjoy basketball. I mean, it's a lot easier for me.
I would say
when the Wolves are doing well.
Those last minutes of the ninth quarter, those last 9 or so minutes, I should say, in the fourth quarter, are fantastic. It's the rest of the game that's sort of pointless.
Yeah, there are some crazy comebacks, like 30 or 40 points in the last playoffs. I think the Pacers.
Right.
I don't quite recall, but
Like in soccer, you could miss the one goal of the whole game if you missed the first minute of the game. Like soccer, the whole. Also, what I love about soccer is you know exactly how long it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's a 90-minute game. Could be a little bit of extra time in each half, but at most you're looking at 100 minutes, maybe 105, 110 minutes max. But you got 90 minutes of uninterrupted play. And there's a little halftime in between, but 90 minutes of uninterrupted play. You ain't getting a 3-hour baseball game with no end in sight, even though I love baseball. You ain't getting a football game that says 1 minute left on the clock and you're watching it for the next 30 minutes. That's what I love about soccer.
Yeah, sure.
I don't even think you went into the sports talk. I think I dragged you into it. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I mean that's all right. I think you said chat kind of started the tangent. Happens. I'm as much as I like watching sports to kind of pull me out of politics or whatever issues in my life. For me, I'm a really big disc golf player. I like watching it too, but
I can't.
Kind of nice to get out there and in nature and just kind of meditate.
I see someone in the chat saying sports sucks. Everything is going to shit. Listen, you gotta even if you're the person who's like, you got to pay attention to everything going on. I agree. I mean, I am that guy. I'm absolutely, but you got to step away. Otherwise, take it from me. You are going to destroy yourself. And you're not going to be informed if you're absolutely burnt out. You got to step away and do things that you enjoy. You're not ignoring the issues. You're taking care of yourself so you could pay attention to the issues. You got to give yourself something that you enjoy. You don't got to close your eyes to the world, but you got to step away for a little bit every now and then so you could just take care of yourself. You got to do it. You got to do it, or you're not gonna make it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think I'll wrap the call up there.
Definitely.
Thanks for having me on that.
Thank you. Great call. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. Have a good rest of your night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Oh boy, we got a lot of callers. It's already 1:30 in the morning. I'll take one more call. All right. 612. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think I'll wrap the call up here.
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Whoa, do I got two people on the line right now? Hello?
I think you did. Can you hear me?
That's weird. Are you 612?
I am.
How did that happen? How did I get two people? Because I'm only seeing your number. Who was the other person on the line? That's so weird. I'm not asking you. I don't think you're going to know. I'm just speaking, rhetorically out loud. 612, though. I'm glad to have you on the line officially. You who I was going for. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Shay. I'm in Minnesota as well.
Hey, Shay from Minnesota. What would you like to talk
about? Hello. Well, I know you guys kind of change the subject in the sports, and I'm a football fan, but not Vikings, so sorry, last caller. But about Charlie Kirk today, first, I just want to say that I do pray for his family and rest in peace to him, because Charlie Kirk losing his life, I know there was a previous caller, she was kind of mad, and then some of the comments are kind of terrible. It's not that he died that I think makes people on the left, how we're feeling upset and feeling feelings. It's more of how he was assassinated and shot in the neck. That's pretty fucked up.
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, I fully think that this was not good, obviously, and it was
Right.
horrific, and I don't want someone to die this way, anyone to die this way. I don't want anyone to be killed, period. Um, I also get people who don't want to say nice things about him because he doesn't deserve that. I also get people who are joking about it. However you want to deal with this, that's your own business. I mean, I think it's ridiculous that people are, especially on the right, are getting mad at people who are cracking jokes, because I thought comedy is back. I thought you wanted this sort of no censorship, anything goes. You could joke about anything. Comedy is legal now, world. Except, of course, when it hurts your fifis, when it hurts your feelings, when you're the one in the butt of the joke.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly. Their comedy's not back.
I'm not joking about it. I mean, there are certainly jokes I've seen that I thought were well written, but I'm not joking about it because it's just not how I feel. I just don't feel that way right now. I'm sort of just kind of numb to this. I feel like this sucks. But I've certainly seen some funny jokes. However you want to deal with it, I think it's ridiculous that you're being vilified for your words. I mean, give me a break. Give me a break. The whole idea of the right wing is you're supposed to be the advocates for that shit, even though we know you're not. But I mean, just who cares? Let people deal with it however they want. How does that affect you? I mean, you don't want to. None of you guys want to deal with the actual issue, the gun violence, the mental health care. None of you guys care about that shit. So why do you care about nonsense? Who cares how people feel about this?
Exactly. And that's kind of what I'm getting at, because when there was a fight on the floor of Congress today, verbal fight, Bobo the clown, I just do not like her. Lauren Boebert, she screamed, we don't need prayers right now, we need action. Okay, but bitch, you didn't say that when the babies were getting murdered in school.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't care about. I mean, what? Oh, I forgot to mention this one. What's his face? Senator, a U.S. Senator, Senator Mike Lee of Utah. He was cracking jokes about the assassination of the Minnesota Democrat and her husband. He was cracking fucking jokes, multiple Twitter posts, joking about it.
Right.
Joking about it.
Trump said when he was asked on Air Force One, are you going to call the governor, are you going to call, my Governor Walz, or are you going to reach out? And he said, I may be, but why? He said something like he's stupid or he's an idiot. But wait a minute, I thought our words matter. And so my thing is how is Lauren Boebert and the right screaming at the left on the floor of Congress about we don't need your prayers, but a week and a half ago when babies in my area were murdered, you guys said thoughts and prayers were the best thing to have, and that the left is being insensitive to Christianity. So thoughts and prayers are good for them, but you want more for you. And when you talk about we need action, well, what action? Because we have been trying to have legislation for guns. And I know there was another caller that, had a gripe about, being armed and we shouldn't take away guns and it shouldn't be, I think they said something if it costs more money, then they disagree. But I think it should cost you some money, because people that are going to be nefarious with whatever they're going to do, if they have to come out of their pocket, they're going to probably think twice. But also, why are we not requiring the most steps to take to have a gun license? I think it was harder for me to get my driver's license than a gun license. So I just don't, I just really disagree with, and it's not just the right in Congress, it's all of our politicians, because there's some lefties, well, Democrats, that do the same thing. They vote against our best interests all the time just so their check can clear. And we're stuck bearing children or, you know, bearing our family members who just wanted to go out and watch a movie or go to the church and pray. We're bearing them. And it's all because you guys, well, you know, our politicians want that check to clear. But now that it's hit their side, it's a whole different rodeo.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just really pisses me off. I have a child in preschool, and I don't know if I want to send her to physical school for kindergarten because I'm afraid. I have older boys that are 25 and 23. I didn't have this problem with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly, you know, I get it. I have kids just like you. You know that. I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I, you know, again, I feel like I do have the ability to sort of live in a bubble. I really do think New York City is not completely sequestered from this, but I don't think something like that is less likely here than in in a school in the Midwest or in the South or in, you know, anywhere.
Oh yeah, no, you're totally right. I'm from New York, and so it was safer out there. Right in Minnesota, I'm in Bloomington, so I'm in pretty safe area. But people in the Midwest, hell, they're gun crazy out here.
Like
and it's like, for what?
Because most of these school shootings happen when, well, not most, but a good number of them have happened when it was just someone getting access to a firearm from someone they knew.
Right.
You know, I think it's concerning. I think those people shouldn't have had firearms because they're not responsible with them. If someone's able to just walk up and grab your firearm, you're not responsible,
Mm-hmm.
gun owner. You shouldn't have a gun.
And that's the thing. So when we talk about, you know, we need better gun laws, it doesn't have to be ban all weapons. And I don't think any of us, well, there's a slight few, but most of us have never said that. When we had, you know, if we ban high-powered assault weapons, okay, that's good because that's what's usually used in mass shootings. And so there's no reason for a civilian on the street to have a weapon that is designed for like war, you know, kill as many people in the shortest amount of time as possible. You don't need that to protect your home or to hunt. And if you say you need it to protect your home or to hunt, you either you suck at hunting or you're lying. And so we know that that's a lie. So that's a start. And then the background checks, we have background checks here, but let's do better background checks. Private sales should be done differently, and these gun shows should be done differently. Perhaps if those were put in place, you know, Charlie Kirk could be alive right now, and he should be alive right now. If there are more, you know, higher, fines or more jail time for people who don't want to lock away their weapons and their kids or, you know, others get to their weapon and commit some crime. How many times do we see, a child died because they shot themselves playing around with daddy's gun or mommy's gun, or they shot their sibling?
Yeah.
Those are all things we could do to minimize what's happening in our schools and in our neighborhoods, you know, and they're all just going to say, why, you know, the gang members are still going to get them, or, you know, whatever. But okay, murder is illegal, but people still murder. But it deters them when they know what the consequence of that is. So maybe we should start with higher consequences for people who don't want to lock up their firearms. But I really don't think that we should have these weapons of war on the street. There's just no reason for someone to walk into Perkins and they have an AK-47 on their back.
Yeah, I just when I see images of that, I'm just like, what in the world? Like I just think it's insane. We we live in an insane society here, where
It's
where
crazy.
we value that more than people's lives.
We do,
I
and
think it's horrific. Like I just it's but you know, we're like it feels like we're beating a dead horse here, right? I mean, how many
yeah.
school shootings? I mean, I think the saying was I forgot who said it. There was a quote where like, I realized when Sandy Hook didn't move the needle, the mass shooting of kindergartners didn't do it, then like that's it. The debate's over. No one's gonna do anything. I mean, yeah, I mean, I agree with that. After I Sandy Hook, if you're not gonna do it for that, then I mean, it's just
Oh
insane.
yeah, Sandy Hook. And for me, I thought after Uvalde, because I'm old enough to know about all these school shootings. The Sandy Hook was terrible. I even am privy to the very first school shooting in what I think it was the 70s done by a woman. But Uvalde, for me, because we could see things that we couldn't see before, and to see all of these officers standing outside in a hallway. Some of them were getting hand sanitizer while you're listening to babies being slaughtered. And I'm
Yeah.
sorry if 400 armed men and women with body armor are afraid to go into, kick open that door and get that shooter because it's a high powered weapon, then that's your clue that maybe we shouldn't have those high powered weapons.
Right.
Because on the street, we don't have body armor. We're not armed to the teeth like these officers were, and to listen to those poor little babies and to hear their parents say they had to ID their children by the clothing that was attached to body parts. When that didn't move anything, and I could see people on TV, the different commentators and things that I watch cry, when that didn't move anything, that's when I started thinking, well, what am I going to do with my child? I don't think I'm going to send her to school. We might have to look into online or something like that, because there's no way. And so that just really pisses me off. But also about the Charlie Kirk thing, what really pissed me off is, one, I understand a man lost his life, but there was a school shooting. And this kind of covered up that school shooting purposely, I feel. I don't think that should happen. But for Trump also to give that weird speech, and you're right, that body language was weird. But to also say, he was, giving him, I don't know, put him up on a pedestal, but to say, well, all flags need to be fly to half staff. Well, wait a minute, you didn't say that when our politicians here in Minnesota, actual politicians, not a pundit, but a commentator, but actual politicians
A
were
public
murdered.
servant. Public servant. That's the difference. The public
Right.
servant. Yes.
Yeah. He didn't say that at all, and he didn't come to the funeral here. He was golfing in Scotland. And so that really pisses me off that for the right, it's it's just a big giant thing that we all need to sympathize with them and make some changes and whatever, when it's their people or their side. But when it's the opposite side, and and then even for them to prematurely start blaming the left that this shooter must have been a lefty. Well, I'm sorry, but the shooter here in Minnesota that killed our politicians was a right winger, and both Trump assassination attempts were done by, on paper at least, Republicans. But you're always pointing the finger at us, and I don't understand. On one hand, we're hippies and kumbaya and smoke too much weed, but on the other hand, we're so crazy and insane that we're killing everyone and causing all of this violence. That doesn't make any sense to me. So that just really pissed me off that the flags are half staff, not because Charlie Kirk's life didn't mean anything, but because why are we celebrating one but not the other? And what kind of message does that send to the people? That's why we're so damn polarized and everybody hates each other now, because the leaders are fighting, us versus them. And so your followers will.
Yeah. I mean, they have no problem using this for their own political gain. I mean, they're doing even more for their own political gain. I don't know if you saw Rabbi Shmuley, tweeted out a video talking about how well he knew Charlie Kirk and how often he would work with him for Turning Point USA. And he said, "I've spoken to my friend many times. I'm in shock and praying." And then he posts, "Help protect Rabbi Shmuley," with a GoFundMe link for himself.
Sweet, nice. There we go.
That's how these guys view their own, as a money-making machine for themselves, even in death. Even in death.
Well, yeah, hasn't it always been that way? Trump gets elected and he robs the people who voted for him. He is literally destroying their lives right now. The highest recipients of Medicaid and the SNAP program are registered Republicans in the South, white Republicans in the South. So you're robbing them every chance you can get, taking their money, giving it to the rich, or just pocketing it yourself, and saying it, quite literally says it to their face. And then, why not start a GoFundMe?
It is crazy to raise money for yourself off your friend's death, no matter what your politics are. Listen, I wouldn't raise money off of the death of an enemy, because that's fucked up. I mean, give me a break. I mean, this is a guy raising money for himself to line his own pockets off the death of his supposed friend. I mean,
and he'll make money off of it too.
Unbelievable.
He'll make, but they know their constituents. They know their people. And I mean, their people just are completely different. I mean, I have a person that I know, she's complete other, side of the aisle of me, but wouldn't tell me today that Charlie Kirk got shot. And of course, I already knew. I do political analysis on the side for, to educate people at rallies and stuff here in Minnesota. So I'm always in the news. And I said, the reason you didn't want to tell me is because you thought I would laugh and make fun of the situation, because that's what you would do. And that's what your side does. You guys constantly blame us, but we weren't putting memes out. I mean, I'm sure there are a few, but we weren't as a whole making fun of Trump being shot. We were making fun of after him, how he just milked it and everybody had, maxi pads on their ears. Yeah, but when he got shot, we didn't make fun of that. When Paul Pelosi was almost murdered, they couldn't get enough. And they're still doing it to this day. It's been forever. Find something new to joke about. But he'll make money off of that, and he'll laugh all the way to the bank.
Right. Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that up. And when I say that, it's terrible how Charlie Kirk had to go and people are making their jokes. I just wanted to make it a point that we're not them. So let's not do that. You want to joke yourselves, I get it, but we're not them. And so we can joke, but also have his kids were 1 and 3, man. That's terrible. My daughter's 4. If I left today, she would probably never remember me. So, there is, we should also just make sure that the family is okay, because at the end of the day, there's still a husband and a father that is no longer here.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I am not,
even though he's an asshole.
Yeah. Listen, you don't have to mourn or cry for the guy, but
yeah, exactly.
You should. The difference between them and us should be that we have empathy and we care. And I'm not saying you have to have empathy for him, but empathy for the situation of no one should die.
Right.
No one should be killed like this. No one should be killed, period.
Yeah, nobody should be murdered.
But no one should be murdered like this at all. Like, just horrible. And obviously, yes, him having kids makes it just a little bit more horrific. But and I feel for the family without a doubt. But also, do they feel for the parents who have to bury their kids at the school shootings they downplay? No, of course. Do they feel for the kids?
They don't.
Do they feel for the kids who are left without their mothers and fathers when they get killed at these school shootings or mass shooting events? No, they just say it's part of, it's deaths they're willing to accept for the Second Amendment. But that's what makes us different, right? So we should remain that way. We shouldn't stoop to their level when it comes to that shit. But again, not saying you have to fucking act like this guy wasn't who he was.
And I know who he was.
You live in reality. You live in reality at the same time. Yeah.
Exactly. We live in reality, and I'm a black person, so I already know who he is, and he would have never been my friend. But I just hope his family is okay, and that this stops, because I have a feeling that this is now going to become an even bigger thing. I mean, I'm not even going to the rally that we're going to have here in Minnesota. They're having another No Kings rally, and I'm not even going to that because, all I've seen all day online and on the dark web is we're locked and loaded, and we're going to get every Dem out here. And one guy even said, all you black people, we know that you're libbed up too. So if you're black, it doesn't matter. We're going to assume you're liberal, and we're going to kill you. And
I mean, it is getting like really bad. The race talk from the right, like it is, we are certainly, I think, obviously there are many, many, many issues with racial justice in this country, and it was an ongoing work in progress. But I really do think in the past few years, we've taken a massive step back, and not just on race issues, but on LGBTQ issues, on all social justice issues and aspects. We've taken a huge step back. And I do think there's a historical precedent for this, where the world got real fascist after the last major pandemic. And we're now living through the aftermath of the most recent pandemic, and I feel like we're getting really fascist now too. I think it's just was an anomaly the last time I should say. It seems like that's the pattern. People
it is.
Yeah, people get real fascist when they're told they have to start caring about the health of others during a pandemic, and this is what we're living through right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I mean, that's by design. I don't think what you just said, I don't think they're looking at that perspective, but taking a massive step backwards is, in their view, making America great again.
Yeah.
Making America great again for whom? When was America great, and for who? If you take away our rights, as our women's rights, that's gone. Civil rights for people of color, the immigrants, those are all being taken away. And you want to bring us back to where, the only people in power were the white Christian straight male.
Yeah.
So it's working, but hope we can turn it around. We'll turn it around in 26 and then 28, and I really hope Walz is on the ticket.
I like Waltz, but
Stop it.
I like Waltz, but I think his brand is tarnished. I think he attached himself to what he did, and it hurt him tremendously on a national scale. I don't think he could. I would love for him to be a part of, the administration in some way, but I don't think he could be on the ticket. I think his brand has been hurt by being part of. And listen, I feel bad for Kamala Harris too. I think,
me too.
Especially after that book came out. I mean, obviously she has agency, and she could have said it, stood up to fucking Biden and his administration and been like, no, I'm going to do this for my own good and campaign and not listen to what you guys are saying. But she didn't. She went with their way of doing things, and that way failed, and she bore the brunt of it. And reading those excerpts of her book that are coming out now, it's crazy that what they did to her. But also, I mean, she needed to stand up for herself, and she didn't. She tried to play on the team, and they were just looking out for themselves and for Biden's legacy, and they didn't give a fuck about her.
Oh, hell no, they didn't care about her, and she's a smart lady, so why she would hide Walz and pony around with the Cheneys is beyond me. I don't care what advisor told you to do that.
And change her rhetoric. In that book that came out, there's an excerpt.
Yeah.
There's an excerpt where she's talking about that first Gaza speech she did, which was really good. I mean, it wasn't fantastic, but coming from the presidential candidate, it was a huge change from how Biden was talking about it, and it made people really look forward to, how much they can work with her and get her even further, move her further on this. It seemed like there was something malleable there and something worth voting for because there was something there worth working with. And then she said they got upset with her about it, so she listened to them and stopped. And that fucking was horrible when she did that.
Yeah, she totally shouldn't have done that. Her numbers were so good when she was talking about housing and stopping the price gouging. But see, when Walz was chosen, I predicted that he would be chosen, but then when he was chosen, I was like, shit, I wish I wasn't right, because if things go awry, then we're going to look at Walz crazy, and he's going to have to take we're going to put that responsibility on him.
Looking back, if we knew how it was going to end up, she should have went with Shapiro just so he could have taken the fall and there would have been no loss.
I know. It would have been great, but stay tuned. He's doing some things out here that I think he's going to bring to the table, because I'm pretty sure he's setting up for a run from some moves he's making.
Yeah, I think he's not the guy, unfortunately.
We'll see. Well, who are you going for?
I don't know who's going to run right now, but whoever it is has got to. Whoever promises not to run on a return to politics how it was. I want someone who's going to run on the people who did this and have hurt all these individuals with deportations and everything they've been doing. They're going to pay. There's going to be legal proceedings. People who broke the law are going to be jailed. They're going to be imprisoned.
Oh,
I want full blown.
Great minds think alike.
What they said about, lock her up and all that shit. No, I want that to actually happen to the people who broke the law, who ruined lives. I want American citizens who flew overseas to join the IDF and are now bragging about murdering unarmed, innocent Palestinian civilians. I want them arrested and sent to the fucking Hague. I want them tried for their war crimes. I want all the people who wronged good, innocent people to be punished. I want the members of the Biden administration who were working with Netanyahu, I want them investigated for war crimes. I want full... I'm not going to find someone who's going to do that, but whoever gets me the closest to that will be my choice.
Yeah. Before I let you go, I told a really good friend of mine tonight, I said, if I had it my way, anybody who takes AIPAC money, I'd be looking at for treason. But I did predict it was 2014, I want to say 2014 or 15, that we're not going to have a good year until 2028. So far I'm on the right track, but we'll see. But I think the person who's going to run needs to run and they're not taking any corporate money, AIPAC money. They're not taking any of that. They promise we're not sending money to Israel anymore. And, run on our social issues, like run harder than Zoran ran, Zoran is the shit.
Yeah, Zoran's great.
We need a person like that. Definitely a DSA person. I know the DNC is going to try their hardest, but I think my prediction in 2014 was, it can only get better. But my prediction when Biden was president of it being 2028 was Trump's going to run again. He's going to get elected, and he's going to fuck this country up so terribly bad where people, even centrists that lean right, are going to start looking more at DSA politicians. So we shall see. And we'll have to touch base as it gets closer.
I'm putting a lot of faith in Zoran changing the game here. I think he has the opportunity to be an absolute major figure. He needs to be. He needs to do this right. He needs to make sure everything is taken care of. He's hired the right people for his administration. I trust him here because what he does in New York could be used as the catalyst to say, holy shit, look how well it's working there. let's fucking do this. Let's fucking
Exactly.
do this elsewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a real
Zoran,
chance.
I hope he knows. I'm sorry.
He's got a. Yeah, I'm just repeating. He's got a real chance to
Oh,
be the most be more influential than if he could run for president. Honestly.
yeah, I hope he knows that he, I know you New Yorkers are, we want him, but I hope he knows that he's kind of, or is the hope for the country. And we are really with him. We're all with him, and we want the best for New York. I love New York. I love home, but I want Zorans all over the country.
Yeah, I crossing my fingers. Yeah. Really appreciate the call. This was great. Please feel free to call in
Thank you.
any time. I love talking to. I think this is the first time calling into the show, right?
My first time, and I'm going to call again because we're going to have to touch base as more people pop up out of the woodworks and see what's going on and bounce ideas.
Yes,
and trade
definitely.
thoughts.
Please call in. I love having a new, because I have so many regulars that when someone new calls in, I'm like, yes, a new voice.
Well, I'll talk to you next time for sure.
Take care. Have a great night.
You as well. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, folks. It's 2 a.m. on my end. I've gone 3 hours, which if I started a little bit earlier, I probably would have gone 4 hours, but I'm exhausted now. It's been a long day. My daughter, I am shutting the phones down. My daughter had soccer practice today, and it's the team that I coach. They're a bunch of 6-year-olds. It's very exhausting. So I'm already tired on top of everything else that happened today. Listen. Just take care of yourselves. Whatever you want to put out there, just be careful what you say. I don't want anyone fucking saying something stupid and getting in trouble. Listen, that's what sometimes is what your private messages, your private text groups, that's what that's for. The inside jokes and stuff like that. Just be smart. This would be stupid to do anything, get in trouble over because you said something that Trump deemed to be against the law of speech now in this country, apparently. But also, just I don't even know what to say. Let's just see what the fuck happens here when they find this guy. God. What a day. And it's now September 11th. So now in just a few hours, they'll be doing the memorial service at the World Trade Center, which is always extremely depressing, which I don't watch, but still everyone always talks about it, and it's all over the internet. Although less and less every year, I guess. I just don't like talking about today. Just all the footage that gets posted, people treating it like it's just content. That's what really bothers me. Just people just treating this shit like it's content. It's all just fucking content. No one's thinking about what it actually is, how it depicts some people's lives and what really happened. It's just content. It's just content. Well, I just submitted 3 hours to the content machine today. Hopefully it was more substantive content than what others put out who treat it that way. Not going to promote anything. It's just not one of those shows. If you're on the YouTube channel, just hit that subscribe button so you know when I go live, so you could join me for more of these streams and we can have more nice substantive discussions. You can call in. I do these shows every week at the very least. I should do more, right? Had over 1,000 people on here at once. I think it peaked at like 1,500 concurrent maybe, or 1,400 concurrent. Not bad. Tomorrow, Leftist Mafia and Majority Report. I'll be on both shows. I am sure we'll be talking about this. Not that I want to, but it seems inevitable. Like I said, I got into this talk about policy, and every 2 years or whenever there's a election, electoral politics, I did not want to. I didn't get into this to talk about this type of stuff, but it is what it is. Got to roll with it. All right. I mean, Flory, Flory. Oh wait, I gotta read the super chats. I'm sorry. I was gonna jump off before doing that. I can't do that. I gotta read the super chats. Mr. Sushi 22 says Hassan was talking about it. Is this our Reichstag fire? Also, I live in Denver. Trump didn't even mention that in his AI video. Well, of course he didn't mention that. He didn't even talk about any recent shootings, even the Minnesota lawmaker that was killed. I don't think it's that. I don't know. Who knows? We got to see who did it first, I guess, if we're talking about what it could be used. Who knows? Bay Photo member for 26 months super chat. I think Zoran summed it up well. It's worth watching what he said about Charlie Kirk, even though Charlie Kirk said absolutely vulgar stuff about him. I don't know what he said. I assume that we're. I don't know if we said the exact same thing, but we're somewhat on the same page. I think that I'm sure he said something really smart because he's a really smart guy. MH777, member for 1 month, says, my 2 cents on it being a graper accelerationist, and then we see this all go quiet. I don't know who it is. It could be anything. Really, I don't know. Nothing would surprise me. We've seen everything and everything. Nothing would surprise me. Tokyo Hans gave out 5 gift memberships. Thank you so much, Tokyo Hans. Andy Cole with a super chat. Trump covering his dead-ass hand. I noticed that. He doesn't move it at all. It's very weird. His body doesn't move. That video was so weird. I said it looks AI generated. Looks. And I pointed out the weird things that make me say that. I didn't say it was AI generated. I saw some people get mad at me for saying that. I'm not being a conspiracy theorist. I'm talking. I'm sharing my opinion. My opinion is that it looks AI generated. I'm not reporting falsehoods that say it's AI generated. I said it's a weird video that looks like it's an AI avatar of Trump. And this is why I said that. I pointed things out. And then I followed up by saying, I'm not saying it's AI generated. I said it looks that way. There's a number of weird things. The color grading is weird too on it. It's the weird editing. There's a lot of things that make it look uncanny valley. It looks like he shot it. It looks like they filmed Trump. But then they use something AI, weird transitions or overlay effects. I don't know what they did, but it looks weird. Green screen. I don't know. Something is weird. They definitely filmed something of Trump and then did something weird to that video. That's all I'm saying. The Pope with a super chat. Teleprompter confirmed. Trump's checked out. Was there a teleprompter? I didn't notice that part. Chargoon became a member. Thank you so much, Chargoon. Impetus ×2 with a super chat. Not going to lie, I feel more sorry for the Colorado high school students. I mean, I think people are going to feel how they feel. How someone feels who has nothing to do with this does not affect you one bit. I'm sorry. It just doesn't. So anyone crying over that, how people are reacting, just get a life. Like you treated every death you heard about with complete respect. And care for the families involved. Give me a break. I understand that. And I'm someone who doesn't feel that. I feel like what happened really sucks because it's a bad thing for our country with how bad things already are. Tokyo Hans with the super chat. If it steps like a goose and squawks like a goose, it's probably a Nazi. Yeah, I mean, Ron Allen became a super chat. I'm sorry, a YouTube member. Thank you so much, Ron. Tokyo Hans. It's the same editor from the Epstein murder video. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Brian Hyder with a super chat. Not to be a conspiracy theorist, but how do they know someone from the left shot him? That's not a conspiracy theorist. You don't know. Maybe an accelerationist, says Brian. I'm glad I don't live in America. It's not a conspiracy. The other people are conspiracy theorists. You're the rational person. We don't know who it is. It could be anybody. They dropped the ball and let this guy escape. And we have no clue who it is. It literally could be anybody. It could be someone who has no political ideology. It could be someone who has some weird muddled political ideology. It could be someone who knows? We just don't know. We just don't know. Renee with a super chat. The most worrying thing is that this was intended to justify a deeper fascist takeover, highly performative as the person was making a statement. Yeah. Tracy Eva with a super chat. If you look at Meet Kevin's video, it shows how the shooter had a clear shot. But you spelled shitter. The shitter had a clear shot from the roof of a building hidden by trees and how he got away. Meet Kevin. I'll look that up. Who is that? A YouTuber? Meet Kevin. Bad Enchilada became a YouTube member. Thank you so much. Bay Photo. Parker and Dean have both debated Kirk before and have gone to his events. Parker was actually there today. He was emotional about what happened. Who's Parker? I don't know who Parker is. Who's Parker? I could certainly see being emotional if you were there and like the PTSD and emotional weight of being there for that to happen, for sure. Carrie Shaw with a $20 super chat. Thank you, Carrie. The right is turning him into their white civil rights icon. I mean, we'll see how long that. Like I said, the news cycle nowadays. Cola Dick says Charlie is dead. Guess he wasn't so pro-life then. Jacqueline Leach says, thanks, Matt, and you are a great papa. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. The Pope says, he said if his daughter was sexually assaulted as a child, he'd force her to carry to term. He was not a loving father. I saw that video, and I think that's certainly sick thing to say. It's your daughter's. If God forbid that happened to your daughter, it's your daughter's choice what she does. It's her body. It's her life. What a horrific thing to say. You would force her to do anything. I also think the other way. You could give her all the guidance in terms of what you think she should do, but at the end of the day, whatever it is she decides, it's her body and her life, and it's her choice to make. In both scenarios. That's my personal opinion. W3 Avenue TCG. 19 seconds into that Trump vid, when he says the word patriots, there's a weird AI hiccup. His hands and the greenery behind him shifts. It's definitely a touch up. Yeah, there's something there. I don't know if it's just bad editing, but something looks really weird. The Kitsune Cavalier says Parker is a professional left of center debater. He and Dean have both been on Jubilee. All right. What's Parker's username? Like, if I just put Parker in, I'm not going to find Parker. Is it Parker Get a Job? I don't think I've ever seen this person before. I'm not familiar with Parker. I've seen Dean before, but I don't think I've ever seen this guy. I am so detached from. I'm honestly just not as online as I used to be. I just don't know all these people anymore. I used to know all the major figures, but the world passed me by. I'm not young anymore. I'm now the old man yelling at the clouds and don't know the new superstars, don't know the new musical trends, and don't know the big online celebrities. I am too. Castrine says too busy playing sports. Yeah, I play soccer 2 times a week, 2 different teams. That's what I look forward to every week. Look forward to spending time with my kids, uh, taking them to their soccer practices and coaching the soccer teams that I coach for them, and then playing soccer myself during the evening after they go to bed. That's that's the highlights of my life, honestly, and I love it. I would not trade sitting online watching brain rot for. I wouldn't trade any of that for that. That's what I used to do. I used to fucking dive so deep into shit, spend way too much time looking through stuff. I mean, that's how I was on top of so many of these like right-wing conspiracy theories for so long. But like, I I found healthier things to do. All right. Oh, over on Twitch, let's see. Over on oh, wow. A lot of people were watching on Twitch. Canadian Goose 07 subscribed for 1 month at tier 1. Thank you, Canadian Goose. Dude What subscribed for 3 months at tier 1. Amused Mob resubscribed with Prime, subscriber for 21 months. The people I most feel for are the hundreds of thousands or so that witnessed an assassination. The man himself, I have the same feelings as I had when Hogan passed. Live a life that doesn't involve thousands of people immediately cheering your death, says Amused Mob. Amused Mob also cheered 20 bits. Chucklefuck helped to normalize the genocide. He absolutely helped enable it, says Amused Mob. Hello, lovely scientist. Resubscribe for 24 months at tier 1. They've been a subscriber for 24 months. Thank you, hello, lovely scientist. Whited Amp says, oh, gave out 5 community gift subs. Thank you so much, Whited Amp. I appreciate that. All right, I'm going to raid someone on Twitch. Again, catch me tomorrow on the Majority Port and Leftist Mafia. Majority Port will be on Sam's channel, Sam Cedar's channel, and Leftist Mafia will be on, catch it on my channel. Who should I raid? Let's see. It's late. Let's raid Riverboat Jack. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Stay healthy, stay sane. Take care of yourselves. Don't let the bastards grind you down. And I will see a lot of you tomorrow, I hope. Take care.